Every one of us has a moment that we fell in love with Porsche. Some of us were born into it, or took it in from culture. All of us have a favorite movie scene with a Porsche. But for many of us, it was love at first sight. For 70 years, we've celebrated the thrill of driving a Porsche. There's been a lot of changes to technology in that time. From air to water, manual to PDK, and internal combustion to electricity. It's not just the cars, it's the people. This club is a community. Forging lifelong friendships and bonding over a shared passion. Whether it be on the track, the open road, or in the middle of nowhere. Let's keep the passion going for another 70 years. From generation to generation, and from sea to shining sea.
Good morning and welcome to Virginia International Raceway for the final day of the 2025 Rumble at the Old Oak Tree. I'm Greg Ginsburg along with Brian Donati. Have James Pardue with us here as well, and it is Endurance Day at this beautiful, iconic North American racetrack in Danville, Virginia. 3.27 miles, 17 turns of heaven on earth. As we get ready for all of the action today, well, what can I say, Brian? Good morning. Good morning, James.
Morning. Tell you what, good morning. What another fantastic morning we have here at VAR, Greg and James. And I tell you what, I'm really, really excited to get ready to watch this Enduro. 90 minutes plus a pit stop.
That's right. So first of two Enduros, James. This one is our yellow group Enduro, and it is presented by clubregistration.net, as you mentioned. 90 minutes, Brian. And James, once again, for the third day in a row, although a little chilly this morning, we've been blessed by beautiful weather.
Yeah, and the wind's finally gone too, so we're not going to blow away. But yeah, so this is, as you said, a 90-minute Enduro, but this is also their fourth race of the weekend. So it's going to be a test of endurance in that camp as well. And I wanted to pitch it back to you, Greg, just for some people maybe not familiar with how the Enduros run and how the pit stops are going to kind of function as we get set to go green here in just a little bit.
Indeed. And so over the course of the 90 minutes, and again, this is the first of two endurance races today. We're going to have this one before this morning. We're going to have another one directly after lunch today. There is a mandatory 5-minute pit stop for all of our drivers. They have to take that pit stop after the first 15 minutes of the race conclude, and they must take it prior to the final 10 minutes of the race. And we'll see here. I think a majority of our racers likely are going to have to take fuel at some point during this race. They likely will not be able to make it the entire 90 minutes on a single tank of gas here as they make their way across this 3.27 mile 17 turn course on their pace lap. Should also mention, and as we saw as we opened the show here, this is the 70th anniversary of the Porsche Club of America, and we're going to have a very special guest joining us here a little bit later this morning. Actually, not that far from now. Scheduled for about 9:30 this morning. Going to have Aaron Ambrosino, who is the president of the Porsche Club of America, sitting in for a little while with us and giving us his expert commentary. Tell us where the club has been, where the club is going, his and what he sees in his visionary role as the president of the Porsche Club of America.
Tell you what, Greg, you talked about the pit opening 15 minutes into this 90-minute race and then closing within 10 minutes, right? That brings a lot of strategy. We saw this at Sebring where there were drivers kind of in this group down there at Sebring where they cut it in half, right? So
Right.
they knew they needed to go out and do it. And then we saw some that would do it a little bit later, go a little bit as long as they could. We had some that did it 20 minutes before the end of the race. Some of these cars may be able to stretch it out in fuel. I don't see that happening. I think you'll see some drivers do it. At some point, you're going to see some of these drivers either in this group and or in the next. You're going to see some driver changes, just like you do on a regular pro race weekend. So it's going to be interesting. Now, the only difference there is they've got 5 minutes to get that driver in, right?
Yeah, right.
And get the fuel, and if they change tires, as opposed to trying to do it as quickly as possible.
Yeah, Brandon, it'll also be fun looking at, so this is kind of a mix of our silver and black groups that ran yesterday. So there's a power to weight class. So we're going to see some cars on track that haven't actually raced each other at all this weekend. Our 911 Cup cars going to be mixing it up with our some SP3 drivers and spec Porsche Boxster as well. So that'll be fun to watch some drivers that maybe haven't had a chance to go wheel to wheel yet this weekend.
Yeah, indeed. And so we have sitting up towards, I think, the front of the field, some of our spec Cayman drivers. We've got Matt DiStefano and Nathan Stiles in the number 93 and the 133 machines, specifically. John Dunsky in his GT3 class, Cayman S, Eric Yortsoy in his spec Cayman, Ryan McGrath, who's in a 997 Porsche 911, the 777 machine. We've got a number of vintage cars that are going to be running in this group here. Doug Switzer is a VGTO, a Porsche 914-6. And as you can see now, we've got our Porsche Cayenne pace car provided by Porsche of Virginia Beach on the pit lane, turning things over to our field as they're picking up speed, coming onto the front straight. And the green flag is in the air. And they are now making their way down to turn one. There they go. And car right at the front of the field. That in the white Porsche Cayman, that is Nathan Stiles with Eric Yortsoy in the white and blue Cayman right alongside as the field. And, James, this is a very different mindset than the sprint races that we saw on Friday and on Saturday, where these drivers know, well, in order to finish, they have to make it an hour and a half, not 20 minutes or 30 minutes. And so going into turn one specifically, you don't see a lot of jockeying for position.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell a race driver to not pass. It looked like they were going 3 wide further back.
It looks like we may have had some contact right there coming in through NASCAR. Got a couple cars that pulled off their drivers left. We'll see whether or not they're going to be able to continue. But it looks like they were all kind of jumping right into each other. So it looks like we had the 19 in there.
All right, getting word it was the 1.8 car and I believe the 1.9 car that's had some issues.
Robert Linder in the 18.
And Jason Knupp in the 19 in a spec Cayman machine, but it sounds as though they've both continued. James, as we were saying.
That's what I was saying, Greg. Whether it's a 10-minute race or 10-hour race, these guys are going to be aggressive on the start because with a race this long, it's going to start to string out, and we're going to see those big gaps, especially once some people start staying out. Some people are going to pit earlier than others.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see how it shakes out. And, with a longer race today, it's going to be, all the classes are going to get mixed up, not to mention with the pit stops as well. Looking in the 911 Cup, Jason Nikic in the 27 started out in front there ahead of Elizovic. See where everybody sorts out. But, it looked like a good start for Nathan Stiles. He got out in front of Yorcho in the 321 coming down the roller coaster. Now we'll see where everybody sorts out. Brian, I wanted to ask you, are you, if you were out there right now, are you going to maybe come in a little bit earlier, try and get fuel earlier and get that pit stop out of the way? Or are you going to try and run as long as possible till you got nothing but fumes and then get in and get it out of the way, try and get into a rhythm?
Well, I think it's going to really depend on where you're at, right? You can't win this on the first lap, but you can sure lose it, right? Yeah. And so it becomes a longer 90-minute enduro if you have, a chance, kind of some damage, right? And I think we may see that on a few of these cars right there on that first lap. So for me, I'm looking at it and, again, calling race strategies as I have before in the past for several teams that have done enduros. You got to see where you're at. You've got to take care of the equipment, right? This is not 30 minutes. This is 90, right? So you got that extra hour, and then you take that 5 minutes into consideration in that pit stop. So it's going to play out as it happens. I would probably go a little bit more than halfway before I had
guys,
that
let me
pit.
jump in real quick because we've got a car coming through Snake.
Two cars.
Yeah, 2 cars, it appears. Obviously, we see the one there, driver's left. We'll try and get the numbers on them here momentarily.
One of them is starting to move, but one looks like...
Yeah, sitting right in the middle of the track. He's on the surface, it looks like, too. So hopefully
that
he can
looks
get
like,
moving.
I think that's Ryan McGrath sitting in the middle right there. And I spoke to Ryan yesterday after we were done in the afternoon, and he was getting some gas. He had some contact on both sides of his car all weekend long in that. So he's been having a rough go of it this weekend. And so we'll see how, if there is any damage. It doesn't look like, as he pulls away, not having any smoke or anything. So it looks like he may have spun trying to avoid somebody else.
Yeah, and apparently it was McGrath who spun the car while Ichiati in the 147 Cayman, the gray Cayman, moved to avoid.
Yeah, okay.
And it looks like we've got an issue up at the top of the roller coaster as well. And well, it looks like...
well, I guess you can go 3 wide with Spec Boxster coming down the roller coaster. Greg, I didn't think you could ever do that.
Yeah, exactly. We saw the bright orange Boxster of Ryan Farragut, who was our camera car during some of the sprint races yesterday. As we have actually our other in-car camera car right now, the number 25 machine.
He's coming down pit road right now.
Olosevic coming down onto the pit lane.
They're looking at the front end of that car. He's pointing, to his group. Looks like something on the left front up there. So not sure, whether or not lifting up the hood going underneath. So he may end up having some type of an issue there up under the left front. So they're checking that out. They'll get him back out, I'm sure. It doesn't look like that's going to be.
Yeah, Brian, looks like Jason Nupp in the 19 also on pit road. Not sure if he came in for a mechanical issue or not, but talking with one of the stewards now. Looking back into SPC, Nathan Stiles avoiding all the chaos from the start so far. He's way out in front, 4.5 seconds over the rest of the Spec Cayman field. Rob Walker with an early lead in Spec Porsche Boxster. 3.5 is the gap, but that's a good battle from third back in Spec Porsche Boxster with Daniel Rubel, Alex Al, Tim Nagy, Ryan Farragut as well. He was in the middle of that sandwich coming down the roller coaster.
Yeah, a lot going on. Looks like they shut off the 25 there of Elizovic sitting on pit road. So it looks like whatever is going on is either going to take a lot longer to fix or maybe terminal. Not sure. But again, another long way to go here. Still got plenty of time. Get out and do it. You never know what can happen. In this race where you have these. In these cars, and again, in that 911 Cup, and we've seen it all weekend long, where those battles come down to the end, right? We've seen the attrition happen constantly in this group this weekend. So, again, where he may go down one lap, he may be able to pick it up, and it looks like we've got his onboard now. So, looks like he's back out, heading down into turn 1, down into the horseshoe. So. Whatever was the problem, it looks like he's got some type of vibration. That car looks very unstable going through there. Coming out of the pits, you can see that in the steering wheel a little bit, and it looks like the front of that car just is not as stable as it needs to be right now.
Yeah. Well, at this point, big, wide, cold tires in the back of the car.
sure.
Brian. And it is still actually quite a bit cooler than it was when they went out and raced yesterday. A little bit under 50 degrees right now here at the track, ambient air temperature. And although the sun is up, I suspect that the track temperature, James, probably not all that much more than 65, 70 degrees max. So it's going to take a little while for that car to come in.
Yeah, and with a longer session like this, the track's going to be completely different in the last 20 minutes of this than it's going to be in the first 20 minutes. So we'll wait and see. Looking at 911 Cup, it was close between Eugene Basha and Donald Anger in the 50. That's stretched out now to about 1.3, 1.4 seconds. As Jason Nikic, early lead as well over the 23, 1.5 seconds the gap.
All right, and we see just coming down the pit lane now, getting a tow back to the paddock, the number 19 machine who was involved in that lap 1, turn 3 incident. And it looks like his day is now done.
I don't think
That's Jason. That was Jason Nupp.
I don't think his day ever got started.
Well, it didn't. He never completed a lap. So there you go.
I don't think his day ever got started.
That was Jason Nupp in the blue 2006 Cayman S.
Yeah, Brian, we saw yesterday how high the attrition rate, and all weekend long, really, especially in the 911 Cup class was. So over 90 minutes, we got a big battle coming down. I think that's our mid-pack in Spec Porsche Boxster.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Daniel Rubel, I think, is at the front of that pack. We'll see. They should be coming down the front straightaway out of Hogpen in just a little bit. Yeah, there's a huge gaggle of cars. There's your leader 911 Cup. We'll look further back for Spec Porsche Boxster. There's Rob Walker coming across the line. And then behind him, the 165 is side by side with Alex out into turn number 1. Yeah, that's, I believe, second all the way back through 5th. And even Ryan Farragut in 6th place. All 5 of those cars all in one big pack behind our 911 Cup top 3 there as they head into turn 1, Brian.
Yeah, coming down through the roller coaster there, you had Tamer in that 165, and you had actually Alex Al in that 79 machine. They were actually going to go side by side. Then you had Daniel Rubel. Daniel Rubel ended up dropping back a position. Alex Al driving a little bit more aggressively on that, coming down that hill, going too wide right there. Wanted to really get in front of Daniel Rubel and was able to make that stick as they come up out of the snake here, heading up underneath that bridge and heading up through the backside of this racetrack. We'll see if they stay single file, but definitely it does look like that Tamer Elbaga is leading Alex out, and then Daniel Rubel a little bit further back with Tim Nagy and Ryan Farragut in that 291. And you're right, James. They're all nose to tail. This is what I talk about when it comes to strategy, right? What ends up happening is that you've got to, as you're racing the teams in your group, right? It's not only on the track. That's where you're going to have to, your crew chief is going to have to make that call when to pit and when not to pit. If the leader of your class comes in, it's almost imperative that you come in at the same time if you're within striking distance, right?
Yeah, exactly. And also with that out-of-class traffic, sometimes it'll be quicker if you come in, pit a little bit earlier, and then when you come back out, you'll have some free and clear track. Because we saw in traffic, you can be 2 to 3 seconds a lap slower when you're racing other guys in your class as well as out-of-class traffic. As we saw with Jason Nikic last time by, he was about a second slower, and Eugene Basha has actually closed that gap down to only half a second. That's for the lead in 911 Cup.
Yeah, I tell you what, I'm still amazed on the Spec Boxster. They continue to go too wide down the roller coaster. Just on every single lap here, with still just under an hour and 20 minutes left to go, we're going too wide completely on every single lap of these guys. So again, this is where it comes back to, James, is what I was talking about. When it comes down to strategy, you want to get in front of that other driver so that when you do make that strategy call, or your team makes that, whether or not you've got that additional, space, because when you come back out after that 5 minutes, they come back out, you're more than likely going to be right next to each other when you come back out.
All right, Brian, James, we have a special guest here, and everybody listening at home or wherever you may be, we've got a special guest joining us here in the booth today. We've got Aaron Ambrosino. He's the president of the Porsche Club of America. And Aaron, welcome. Thank you for joining us here today.
My pleasure. So happy to be here. Thank you guys for inviting me to come and join you up here in the booth. been watching the live stream, first at the Sebring race, now this race.
Yes.
So it's great to see our racers get some exposure, and you guys have done just a fantastic job with the commentary, the direction and everything of the program has been fantastic.
Excellent.
So we appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much. And so this morning, as we opened up our broadcast, we showed a very special video from Porsche Club of America. This being the 70th year and of the club, and a beautiful produced video that I think really gave the feeling and the drive and the excitement of Porsche Club of America and what it means to its members. Why don't you tell us a little bit about, because I will guarantee you that not everybody watching here this morning and watching this great action from VIR is a PCA member, but why don't you give us a little bit of a background and perhaps, I'm always looking for the elevator pitch. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what it is that you're stewarding over?
Yeah, it's amazing that a car club that started in 1955 with about 14 people at their first meeting, who were a bunch of 356 owners who got together, and the impetus was they were trying to work on their cars and there wasn't a lot of technical information. So these group of folks got together and said, well, let's get together and we can help each other work on our cars and share information. And from those 14 people, this club has continually grown over the past 70 years to over 160,000 members. We have 149 regions across the U.S. and Canada. And what the club began as is a group of people getting together to help each other has continued. Okay. And what's great about club racing is, you walk through the paddock and somebody has an issue with their car. And it's amazing that people will step up and help, whether it's with parts or helping them wrench on the car. And it's funny because somebody's in my class and their car breaks down. Usually it's like, well, too bad for them, right? And that's not the way it is here.
It's like,
hey, what do you need? Yeah, I have a spare, wheel speed sensor. Here you go. And you need help putting it in because, we want folks to, not miss out on some track time or a race. And that's whether it's at club racing, at a DE, at an autocross, or, anywhere in the club. If somebody has a question or needs help, the community rallies around and tries to help. So, we're...
indeed. Real quick here, Aaron, I think we've got an issue on track, Brian.
Yeah, I think we're going to end up seeing here Alex Au is going to go over the hill there, and a collection of cars got together, and it looks like he is going to have slide-off drivers left there, just kind of coming up into the oak tree there, up here on the right-hand side of the screen. So,
all right, well, we'll see if he continues on, but... let's see if we can pick up some of the other action here, Spencer, and we'll get back and talking to Aaron here. So it's very much like a family, and I guess that club portion is really the operative word. These are, and we know many in the case of racing, many of the racers that we've seen here, they also do a number of pro events, but there's got to be a draw more than just seat time that brings them to Porsche Club of America club racing events.
Yeah, and again, it's that community, that camaraderie that we have, and I think the folks that are racing in the Pro Series, it's super competitive, it's super intense, and our club racing program is a bit more laid back,
right?
And it's more of that, we're out there the race, we don't want any contact, it's supposed to be a no contact series, and it's just great that a single mark race series like this, 22 races throughout the year, all across U.S. and Canada. So, any given month you can be racing with PCA, amongst, as you said, amateur drivers as well as pro drivers.
Right, exactly. And, and as we saw, and you mentioned, of course, PCA is not just club racing. There are a number of other programs that you promote so that members can extract additional fun from their cars. Brian, real quick.
Yeah, I think we're going to a full course caution here, Greg.
Yeah, indeed. And so we have gone to a full course caution as they look to extract that car from over by, coming out of South Bend, over by turn 11. And as soon as we get the cars all behind the safety car, they'll our emergency services folks here at VIR will deploy and pull that car out.
And I just wanted to say as well for anybody that once the full course caution comes out, that also means the pit lane is closed. So nobody will be taking their pit stops until the track goes back green.
All right. So as we have that going on track, I would say that there's much more than club racing. I know when Brian and I were at Sebring just a few weeks ago, of course, much like here, we had the driver's ed component where you're teaching students how to get more in tune with their Porsches. We also had an autocross function there as well. And as we've been advertising throughout the weekend, I know we've got a big autocross coming up at Richmond International Raceway, and we have a number of different types of events, and not all track events for Porsche owners.
Definitely. So we have, PCA is a tremendous performance driving program. Again, autocross, driver education event. We actually have a sim racing program as well, and again, club racing. But, as you mentioned, there's also events, in that non-performance driving. PCA, we host thousands of events a year, that our regions host. So every weekend you could be doing something from tours, dine and drives, socials, TSD rallies, gimmick rallies. So there's something for everybody. Right. So if, racing and competition and high performance driving isn't your thing, there's plenty of stuff that the club has to offer Porsche owners, to come out and spend time with other enthusiasts. Right. And just, enjoy spending time with your car and with other folks.
With other folks, exactly. I guess that, again, that whole family and camaraderie piece really plays into almost everything you do. So you said we're at this point over 160,000 members. And so where do you see the club going in the next, we're not going to say 70 years, let's say the next 7 years?
We're hoping the club continues to grow. We have a tremendous partnership with Porsche. Right. And I don't think you'll see any other car club, single mark car club that have that kind of relationship with the manufacturer. Right. We're a great ambassador for the automotive brand, for Porsche. Sure. And what we're hoping to see is to see that club continue to grow and continue to produce events that interest our members. Right. We're always looking for the younger members to get involved, and just, getting people to come out and enjoy their Porsches with other enthusiasts. Again, the four-door crowd is another big area where we're focusing on. Myself, I have a 19 Cayenne. My wife drives a 15 Cayenne diesel. So, there's a lot of those four-door Cayennes, Macans, Panamera, Taycans, right? And we need to start attracting those folks to come to our club. And again, there's just so many events that are available to them to come out and socialize and meet people who have just, the same passion for the brand as, we do. So.
Oh, no, that's great. Brian and I are still talking about, there was a Macan that was on the autocross at Sebring a couple of weeks ago who he or she was absolutely extracting the max out of that SUV. It was spectacular to watch that. It's just great. So, as far as what you're seeing here this weekend at Virginia International Raceway, obviously great attendance across both the road racing as well as the HPDE programs here. What do we see for some of these events like road racing or club racing to I guess maybe increase the penetration in the market there? And I know, and you've probably seen, I think, a lot of at the club level, there's been a lot of interest in endurance racing, for example, and I think what we see today is a great nod to that. What are we doing to maybe help grow the program and get more people involved?
Yeah, so again, a lot of it just, promotion of the program, and how do we educate those folks who are doing high performance driver's ed to take that next step into club racing. So, you're already on track, you're a very skilled driver, and if you want to make that leap into the next level to club racing, how do we educate those folks to get from that HPDE into club racing? So I know David Murray is here this weekend. Yes. So, to have folks like David Murray here working with the racers, it's amazing that somebody of his stature is here helping our racers get better.
Right.
And again, obviously what you all are doing for our club race program is fantastic.
Thank you.
You know, I've been talking with Van quite a bit, and I'm like, we need a bit more events. We need a bit more events. And all Van tells me, well, they're booked for other events. I'm like, well, how do we get them at our events, right? I don't care that they're booked. I need them at more of our events, right? Yes, I know. But it's, you know, again, something like this, you know, we've been watching the views. I think the Sebring, the 3 days, we had over 20,000 views of those videos.
And
I think we're pretty close to
10,000
10,000.
just
you know,
from Friday
to
to
yesterday. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think it's, you know, making our members, and not just so much our members, but the Porsche community aware that we have a great racing program.
Yes.
And, you know, if you ever wanted to race wheel to wheel, we have a way for you to do that in a safe way,
right?
In an educational way, right? It's just, you know, like I said, with David Murray here and, you know, all the volunteers, you know, they spend countless hours setting this up and working, and they do a tremendous job, right? You know, that staff that is running this, they're not paid folks. They're all volunteers taking time out of their schedule to come and help put this race on.
Indeed, and I don't think we've done it yet this weekend, but there are so many volunteers that are required. It takes a village to put on
Definitely.
a club racing event or an autocross or any one of a number of different types of events, and there are so many club members who, and I've talked to many of them, you know, that have never once put their car on a racetrack, but you know, it's that the aura of owning a Porsche. And the excitement they get that they want to be able to give back to other members, which I think is incredibly admirable. All right, so Aaron, as we get ready to wrap up here, and my understanding is we're going to be going back to green here in just a few moments. Any last thoughts, last words? I know you've got a very short period of time here, and obviously we want to thank you for coming out.
No, my pleasure. And again, I appreciate the invitation. Like I said, we're just super excited to be celebrating our 70th anniversary this year. We have a lot of great things planned for the rest of the year. So if you are a Porsche owner and not a member of PCA yet, I encourage you to check out PCA.org, learn a little bit about us, and please come join us. And best of luck to the racers who are running the Enduros today. And again, thank you guys for all you do. The streaming has just been fantastic, and we're looking forward to doing a lot more with you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, our next event here, I guess this time to toot our own horn, our next event's actually going to be at Road Atlanta in just a few weeks, April 11th through 13th. So hopefully we'll see you down there as well, because I know obviously, at least with Porsche, that's kind of the pretty much the home of Porsche of America. So hopefully you guys will put in some time with us here as well. I should also mention we've got sitting in the booth with us the vice president of Porsche Club of America, Ron Gordon, as well. Unfortunately, didn't have a mic to put him on air. He seemed very happy with that arrangement. But happy to have you both. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. Aaron Ambrosino from Porsche, president of the Porsche Club of America. Thanks so much for joining us, Aaron.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, so we're still sitting here under the full course caution here, you know, James, as we, you know, still trying to get that Al machine off of the depth there at turn 10 there. Looks like they're going to have to put him on a flatbed to get it out of there. One of the things that, you know, kind of got me thinking, and we were talking about strategies and things like that, so the Spec Boxster class, you know what? I fully think they're going to be able to make it without having to put fuel, right? They'll come in, if they have a driver change, they'll change those drivers, and then we'll you know, get them right back out, take that 5 minutes. I think also the Spec Porsche Caymans also, I guarantee you that's going to be really, really close, you know, on fuel. They're trying to save as much as they can. You'll see them when they come down here on this full course yellow. You'll see them having a gap to the car next, you know, in front of them, because again, trying to stay off the gas as much as possible under this full course caution.
Yeah, it was a shame for Alex Al. He was running up in third place in Spec Porsche Boxster, so we wait to go back green. But yeah, a lot of the guys, once again, as we see, pace car, I think, going to do one more lap. I just saw one of the EVs rolling out of the shot up near Oak Tree.
Yep.
So
and they'll take that car right out of the South Paddock. Okay?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
They'll take it out of there so that we can do it. So yeah, it looks like they'll come in this time. Again, they just now going by the start finish line, so it looks like we're going to have this one full 3.4 mile pace lap one more time, or safety lap here. You know, one of the things that I was looking at too on this is, you know, when we talk about Spec Boxster, you got Rob Walker He's got a car in between him and the second place, Tamer Albaga, and then you've got Daniel Rubel and then Ryan Faggart right behind them. Again, Tim Nagy, I do know that he was down on pit road. I think that may have been a possible, that's where the incident happened between him and the 79 of Alex Al in there, because he came down. They checked the left front and then sent him back out. Lawson Wilder in that spec boxer, he is a lap down as well. So not sure what happened there, but in that class right there, the top 6 cars all on the lead lap there of 10 laps in, and then Nagy and Wilder 1 lap down.
Yeah, that out-of-class traffic car between Walker and Albaga kind of going to be the cork in the bottle once we go back racing, because we saw second all the way back through 6th. I mean, they're going to start all right next to each other once we go back green. I do think I see the lights out on the pace car, so hopefully back racing. But yeah, we'll see if Nathan Stiles can get away good. He had a great start to the race earlier on and built up that gap over Eric Porcho in the 321. Patrick James a little bit further back behind in the 47. But it's a bit of a mental reset. So you got the first 30 minutes out of the way, Brian. So now we're going to go back. Everybody's had a few laps to calm down, breathe a little bit. The tires are going to have cooled off a little bit. Track temperature might be a little bit warmer as well. But now just focusing back in. We've got 1 hour left to go, right about once we get back to green. Might be right at 1 hour when we get back around to go green. So a little bit of a reset. And when do you imagine we'll start seeing people diving into the pit lane? Maybe in the next 10, 15 minutes?
No, I think now that we've had this for a couple of minutes, I think you're going to see they're going to stretch it out, right? It's going to get to the point where they're going to stretch it out as much as they can now before they have to make their official pit stops here.
Yeah, but, obviously on the pace car laps using a lot less gas, so might be able to stretch those fuel tanks a little bit further towards the end of the race.
Yeah, I again, like you mentioned here, Nathan Stiles got a great start overall in this. Don't count out Eric Yortsoy in this 321 machine, because he did actually fantastic as well on that start. Just got bottlenecked out to the left-hand side, but again, on an opening lap of a 90-minute race, you don't want to go all out right in there down in that first turn. You want to get the lead, but to get that clean air, but it's okay if you didn't. I think now look for a pretty good start. I think those two drivers, they'll know when they want to go. So.
And just before we went to caution in 911 Cup, we saw a good battle forming in the lead for Jason Nikic and Eugene Basha up at the front of the 911 Cup pack. As we look down out of Hog Pen, pace car on pit road should be going back to green. As we hear now, green flag is waving with just under an hour left to go in this Enduro. Coming across the line first on our SCP class, Nathan Stiles will be leading the way in the 133, followed by the 321. We'll look to see where there's our spec Porsche Boxer coming across the line. Rob Walker already with a big gap back to the rest of the field, Brian.
I tell you what, you see the 911 Cup cars all right there. One of the cars that's in there is a spec Boxer, and that's the Tim Nagy machine, because he was on pit road, and when he came out, then the double yellow came out, so he was mixed in with them. So we've got the 06 on pit road, so I'm not sure what happened with that car.
And that's Michael Gershon.
Yeah, he was kind of up there in the mix there, but you can see here this 911 Cup battle, and we've talked about it all weekend long. It's definitely going to come down here
side by side there, Brian.
Yeah, right there between the 27, who was your winner yesterday, Jason Nikic, and Eugene Basha in that number 23 in that pink pig. We're not saying that just because of the body style and everything. That is listed as the pink pig, right? He's got that. He's got that pig rolling right now.
I think that pig's out in front now. I think Basha managed to overtake Nikic. They got side by side. Not sure if the 27 had to check up there as they're going through traffic, because we got a car briefly going off up through the S's. But yeah, new leader in 911 Cup is the 23.
Took the shortcut there, coming over the
that's
coming
the
over the hill
line,
out of the
yeah.
S's. That's taking the shortcut. Well, I don't need to run on the asphalt. I just hold the wheel straight and keep on going. Didn't gain any positions, but really took an evasive action there off the driver's left to go through the grass.
All right, currently leading in the SP3 class, Brian here. We'll take this to kind of reset the field a little bit now that we've gone back green. Kenagina in the 1989 944 S2. We've seen this car quite a bit over the course of the weekend. He was your 2023 SP3 national champion, and he also had podiums in SP3 over a number of years, just off winning the national championship. So we'll continue to watch him. He's got the lead over John Payton as well as Robert Linder at the moment. They're all still pretty close. Probably, I think we've got like maybe 2 cars separating each one of them here at the moment. We were talking about 911 Cup there, and Spec Cayman, Nathan Stiles, Eric Yortsoy, and Patrick James all in very close proximity. And in Spec Boxster, Rob Walker, Tamer Albega, Ryan Farragut, who moves now up into third in that orange 291 machine. Dan Rubel fourth, Joel Ailman fifth.
Tell you what, our Spec Boxster class, gentlemen, they're acting like it's the last lap. Like we got 1 minute
Yes,
left to go.
are.
They're 3 and 4 wide here with just under an hour left. Constantly, they're getting in there. One of the classes we'll talk about. You know, we talked about the spin earlier on with Ryan McGrath.
Right.
In that age, Terrence Judge leading that has actually now come down. That is just under 10 seconds. So that that full course caution actually helped Ryan McGrath.
And Brian, I think after losing that lead in 911 Cup, it looks like Jason Nikic has decided to come in for his pit stop. He's the lone car on pit road, so I think he may be our first in to begin his mandatory 5-minute pit stop.
Well, I saw the 914. Doug Switzer, he was down on pit road, came down pit road as well. I don't believe that was his pit stop.
It was a quick 5 minutes
for that
if it was.
because that was somebody's got a pretty quick clock down there. But Gershon, Greg, as you mentioned in that 06, he's dropped off in that G class, so that only leaves two drivers left here, Colin Doherty in the 86 and David Nissenbaum in that 411. So we'll see. We talked about the H class there. Terrence Judd, his lead now is only 4.2 seconds behind McNabb. So we'll see. Here comes our overall leaders across the start-finish line now, heading down. That's the Nathan Stiles in that Spec Cayman, along with that Eric Yortsoy. Not too far behind, still kind of just not letting Stiles get too far out in front. There you see it right there on the screen. There is Nathan Stiles and Eric Yortsoy. Again, pretty close. That's the closest I think that Eric's been pretty much this entire start.
Yeah, and so Yortsoy, he's your 2024 SPC national champion, and was runner-up in 2023. This is his, I believe, only his 3rd year auto racing with Porsche Club of America. An 11-year member.
Yeah, we got Tim Nagy back on pit road, and now we have looks like our leader in Spec Boxster is Rob Walker is also on pit road.
Yep.
So again, we've got this is as you talked about, James. This is where the pit stops are going to start to happen.
Yeah, I think Eric or Jason Nikic, in the 27, kind of kicked it all off. I think it's going to start to get pretty busy.
Yeah.
We see cars coming in left and right. 911 Cup, Eugene Basha and Donald Enger, they're still holding off out in front. And Donald Enger's been reeling in the 23. He's put in a 2:10.3, 1.3 seconds quicker than the 23 of Basha last time by. Might be trying to reel him in just a little bit before he decides to dive down pit road for his pit stop. Nathan Stiles still leads the way. 3:21 of Eric Korcho still now down to under a second, actually. He set a personal best lap time last time by a 2:03.9. He's reeling him, and Patrick James still a little bit adrift in third in Spec Porsche Cayman as we've got someone off at Oak Tree, looks like.
Yeah, looks like they have continued. Looks like they may have just went 4 off there and was able to continue down there. We'll see if we can get that number going there. But again, you got a little bit of a bottleneck there when they went through last time. Going through, and again, our Spec Boxers, I can't say these drivers here, they're giving it everything they have coming down that roller coaster. It's like all for one and one for all, right? We're all going down there, and we're all going to come out of it. So
Yeah, I wonder who's at the lead of that pack further back. I think it's maybe Ryan Farragut in the 291.
while you got Lawson Wilder in that 16 that's headed down into turn one now, he is actually a lap down right now to your leader of Tamer Elbaga, who is just in front of that group. But yeah, Ryan Farragut along with Joel Ailman and Daniel Rubel, that is the three that's in there. That's actually second, third, and fourth. On in that group that's battling, and it looks like Jason Nickick now is exhausted his 5-minute pit stop now, and he is actually going to take back off there. So,
or he's just exhausted.
He's just exhausted, right?
Can't be too tired yet. Still got 52 minutes left on the
Wow.
clock.
After resting for 5 minutes on the pit lane, I wouldn't be too exhausted either. But who knows? As he's heading back out and rejoining the traffic, Nickick out of Metropolitan New York, 11-year road racer, 15-year member of the PCA. He was the 2024 911 Cup East Coast champion, and interesting that he also holds the 911 Cup record here at VIR.
Very nice. Yeah, picking up that spec Boxster race down there at heading down. So again, starting to see the the pit stops coming in. So
all right, getting word that we've got a car that's pulled up to the corner stand over at Hog Pen. It's the 133.
that is actually Nathan Stiles, who was your overall leader.
Indeed. So that is, we're now seeing him drop through the order. He's completed 14 laps, and I suspect that the only way he's going to complete 15 laps, Brian, is when they tow his car down the pit lane and he crosses the timing loop to head back to the paddock.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's just. I think beyond where, and actually, I think there. If we look at the end of the pit lane, I think that is him.
That is him. Yep.
Right there.
So it looks like
to the
he
corner
tried
station.
to make that pit stop and just couldn't.
Yeah.
Getting word now that motor has now shut off. So he's going to need a tow out of there, from what I'm hearing. So that could result in where a closed pit stop, right? So.
Right.
And
so that's going to move Eric Yortsoy now up to the overall lead in his 2006 Cayman. Looks like the 171. Brian now heading down the pit lane, and
that's actually Rob Walker. So
yeah.
he's done his 5 minutes. So
Brian, I just had a question about the pit lane. If you're already in serving your 5 minutes and it goes to close, you're good.
You're
right?
good,
and you actually
you're good, and you can keep going.
You probably make up a little bit of time, because obviously the cars that are out on track behind the pace car, they're going to be doing much slower lap time. So you're going to actually lose a lot less time in your pit stop if it goes to full course caution.
And I'm getting word from the crew chief for that 133 from Adrian down there that it's having a transmission issue,
Right.
And so they're going to have to, figure that out, right? Because if that car won't move, you're going to have to tow it, and if you've got to tow it, you're going to have to put it on a flatbed. So,
and somebody going for the wild ride coming out of South Bend there. We've talked about that corner, Brian. Fastest corner on the track. Tendency to turn in early.
Yeah.
And
that actually,
exit,
I believe, was Joel Ellman in that 324
in the silver Boxster. Yeah, it'll be right at the tail end of this group coming towards us. And, luckily, lots of grass out there if you get it wrong. For years here at Virginia International Raceway, there was a huge culvert at the bottom there that if you took that trajectory, there was a good chance you'd still end up about 15 feet in the air, bounding Dukes of Hazzard style.
Absolutely.
But VIR, I think, filled that area in about 15 years ago.
A lot of cars coming down pit road right now. Eric Yortsoy on pit road. Can't see the car behind him, but looks like they're getting ready to possibly do a driver change.
There's the Pink Pig coming down the Basha coming down the pit lane as well.
Looks like that Eric Yortsoy in that 321 looks like they're going to take gas. Driver getting out. Looks like they're going to put a Fuel, yeah, so the 321 definitely taking gas right there. And can't see the number on the car back behind it, but it looks like they're going to take gas as well. So we're going to have to see, what's going on there. I figured that the Caymans would be able to go a little bit further on fuel to do that. So the 648 actually is also taking fuel. That is actually Paul Van Eden in that Cayman as well. So,
and looking into the, I believe, well, Elazovic in 911 Cup, he was on pit road earlier, but was that just for mechanical, or had he already served his 5 minutes? Because I believe Donald Anger might be the only 911 Cup runner out on track that hasn't come in to serve his mandatory 5-minute stop. So that'll be interesting to watch when he comes in. Jason Nikic running at the back right now, but he's already come in and served those 5 minutes. He's already gained a lap back now. We'll see what kind of lap times he can put in with some open track in front of him.
Yeah, I clearly think you're also going to get your spec boxers in there, starting to really hit theirs. Look, we got one that may have gone 2 wheels off. They're coming down out of Oak Tree, headed down to down the backstretch. That may have been Ryan Farragut in that 29 or that 291 machine. May have gotten 2 wheels off there, expressing that out a little bit further.
All right, guys, what we're going to do, we're going to take a quick break here. Thanks to our partners and sponsors. And when we come back, we'll bring you more action from VIR as part of our Yellow Group Endurance Race presented by clubregistration.net. It is the 2025 Rumble at the Old Oak Tree, presented by the Porsche Club of America here on Driver's Eye Live. We'll be right back.
OG Racing has been a national sponsor of PCA Club Racing since 1998. Headquartered in Sterling, Virginia, and staffed by PCA members and club racers, OG Racing has always carried the industry's best in racing safety equipment and performance parts. The best products from manufacturers like Sparco, OMP, Alpine Stars, helmets from Bell, Stilo, Rue, brake pads from Performance Friction, Paget and Hawk, just to name a few, and are always in stock and ready to ship from their 12,000 square foot warehouse. Give OG Racing a call or visit them at www.ogracing.com and sign up for their newsletter.
About to hit the track without coverage for your car? Buy HPDE insurance in minutes at LockedInMotorsports.com. Whether you drive a 911 or a Boxster, protect your car against physical damage during HPDE and track day events with HPD insurance from Locked In Motorsports, administered by Locked In Affinity. Coverage includes modifications you've done to your car, 2 drivers at each event, demonstration laps your instructor drives, and more. Worried about the trip home? Locked In Motorsports also offers off-track insurance for your non-licensed race car or track car while in transit, in storage, and in the paddock, plus options for your trailer, equipment, and tools. Insure your Porsche today at LockedInMotorsports.com.
Miller's Oils is proud to be a Porsche Club Racing sponsor and to work with Racer's Edge as their North American distributor. Miller's Oils has been blending oil since 1887 and has an extensive product line for virtually every street or racetrack application. The technology implemented in Miller's engine oil and gear oils protects the wear surfaces of your engine and gear train on a microscopic level, significantly reducing friction and increasing the life of your engine and gear train. We encourage you to try Miller's and judge for yourself with the help of an oil sample analysis. As they say, the proof is in the pudding.
If you're a PCA racer, Watkins Glen has got to be on your bucket list of tracks to drive. If you've driven it before, don't miss the chance to come back and improve your times and win on this track where great racers such as Jack Bratham, Sterling Moss, and Dan Gurney found glory. Maybe it's the sheer joy of racing on this superb, well-maintained track with its thrilling elevation changes, or imagining they're running with Mario Andretti, Jackie Ickx, or Derek Bell that brings out racers from all over the USA and Canada to make this Zone 1 club race one of the largest on the PCA Club Racing circuit. PCA members are welcome to attend and perhaps consider how they may make the transition from driver education to club racing. The fun-filled weekend will include 3 sprint races and 1 65-minute enduro race, along with an advanced solo DE run group. Registration opens on clubregistration.net on April 21st. Experience the ultimate celebration of Porsche passion at the annual PCA Parade. This week-long extravaganza from July 6th to the 12th is a must-attend event for Porsche enthusiasts of all ages, offering a perfect blend of social, competitive, and educational activities. From the Concours d'Elegance to the autocross, to the scenic driving tours, to the tech sessions, to the banquets, to the social events, there's something for everyone. Whether you're a seasoned collector, a weekend racer, or simply love the brand, the PCA Parade is your chance to immerse yourself in a community that shares your passion. Set in Oklahoma City this year, a central location in the United States right along historic Route 66, join us for an unforgettable celebration of everything Porsche. Whether you're polishing your car for the concourse, taking on the autocross course, or joining a scenic driving tour, the PCA Parade promises memories that will last a lifetime. Secure your spot today and join us for a week of excitement, connection, and all things Porsche. To learn more and register, please visit PorscheParade.org.
We're thrilled to announce the highly anticipated Racing of the Spring race at iconic Lime Rock Park, set for April 25th and 26th. This marks the 33rd year of this exciting event, and it's the perfect opportunity to take your Porsche out on the thrilling 1.53-mile road course and experience the rush of racing alongside fellow Porsche enthusiasts. With exhilarating action, breathtaking views, and a vibrant atmosphere, this event is truly one you don't want to miss. It's going to be a weekend filled with high-speed excitement, camaraderie, and unforgettable moments. Whether you're behind the wheel or cheering from the sidelines, Racing into Spring promises to be an amazing time for everyone. Mark your calendars now. This is one event you want to be a part of. We can't wait to see you there.
Virginia International Raceway. It's the 2025 Rumble at the Old Oak Tree, presented by the Porsche Club of America, and it is Endurance Day here at Virginia International Raceway. I'm Greg Ginsburg, along with Brian Donati and James Pardue. And Brian, it looks like we've had a lot of stuff going on here while we were in commercial break.
We have. We've got a bunch of drivers trying to come down into the pit lane to try to make their 5-minute stop. We've still got the Nathan Stiles, 133, sitting there on the entrance to pit road trying to get moved without having to go to a double yellow. We also have learned that the 321 of Eric Yortsoy is going to be black flagged for not completing his full 5-minute pit stop. I think may have gone out just a little bit early. So I think they're gonna bring him into the black flag station, let him sit there until his whatever time was remaining, and then he will then be back allowed to join the field. So starting getting quite a bit.
And James, I think we had a couple of drivers. As the commercials were going on, we saw a lot of dirt clouds over by Oak Tree this morning.
Yeah, well, I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, this is their 4th race of the weekend. This is basically 3 extra sprint races all mashed together into one thing. So these guys are tired. It's early in the morning as well, and it's been a long weekend. So, but just about 40 minutes left to go on the clock. I was wondering, have we seen Donald Anger come down the pit lane yet? Because I think he's the only driver in 911 Cup
that hasn't pitted yet.
I think he's the only one that's still out there. I haven't seen him come down pit road.
No,
yet.
I don't believe Donald Anger has come down yet. I think everybody else has come down the pit road. The other driver in the H class, Ryan McGrath, I don't believe he's come down yet either as well, based off looking at the lap times. Remember, he spun earlier on, and that allowed the 159 Terrence Judge to get out to a big lead. We had the full course caution. That allowed McGrath to go back up. He is now in the lead in H class. So, yeah, it looks like, sorry, Greg, I was going to say, it looks like Eric Yortsoy only had 1 minute, 2 seconds left. So he had to come back down.
That's what held the stop and go.
On the brake, stop and go.
Back on out.
Yeah.
All right, so we were talking about Don Anger, who's out of Rochester, New York. I love this. He says he's got no other hobbies other than PCA Club Racing, and he's been racing with us for 22 years now. Why? Because he can't afford any other hobbies. Yeah. He was your 2021 F-class champion, and as you said, he's doing quite well today here doing very well today in his 911 Cup machine.
Looks like the 914 is back. Doug Switzer maybe back down on pit road as well. Watching him come down, they're kind of waving him down around one of the other cars down there. The 25 is also down on pit road as well, completing there. And they're actually putting fuel in that car, in that 25, I believe. So some of our other spec Boxsters now leaving the pits. The 145 there of Sam Halabi. You had Joel Elman on there. They actually came in at the same time. So they leaving at the same time. That is the position for 6th and 7th in spec Boxster right now.
And we've got a good fight in 911 Cup as well between Jason Nikic and Eugene Basha as they were just going up the climb into S's a moment ago. Elizovic, I believe, already came in for his pit stop, so it's showing him ahead in timing. So, yeah, this should be, once Donald Inger comes in, this should be the battle for second between the 27 and the 23.
Well, and remember, I don't know if Elizovic's actually come in for the pit stop. Go ahead, Brian.
We're under another full course caution. We'll have to find out where that is. A little difficult to tell, but we are at a full course caution.
Yeah, and I think it's over by turn 6, and I was going to say that, and we're going to take another break here in just a moment.
Okay.
But Elizovic, if you remember, came down the pit lane right at the beginning of the race, and was essentially 2 laps down right out of the box. And I don't think he's pitted in yet for his regular pit stop.
Well, because that was early too, so
Right.
I think that was in the first 15 minutes.
It absolutely was. It was literally right off of the opening lap.
Yeah, he wouldn't have been able to serve those 15 minutes anyways. So.
All right. Well, as we go to full course caution here with your overall leader Colin Doherty right now in the G class, Ryan McGrath in the H class. They're running 1-2 with Terrence Judge 3rd, Kenneth Gina 4th, and Wally Chiatti 5th. Let's take a break. We'll come back. Hopefully, by the time we come back, we'll be going green. Look, we still got that car at the end of the pit lane. You are watching the 2025 Rumble at the Old Oak Tree, presented by the Porsche Club of America here on Driver's Eye Live. We'll be right back. Pirelli and Porsche have been a winning combination around the racing world for years. Pirelli is proud to bring that relationship to PCA Club Racing yet again in 2025. Make sure to see the guys from Frisbee and find the right Pirelli tire for your vehicle, or check them out on the web at frisbeeracetire.com. Pirelli powers nothing without control.
East of New Jersey, Precision Motorsports, or PMR, is a supporter of club racing and a new national sponsor for 2025. From the latest Cup cars to 944 racers, PMR has supported them all here at the track. True experts in their craft and dedicated to performance. Find them on Facebook at Precision Motorsports.
New for 2025, Isringhausen will be sponsoring the GTD 1, 2, and 3 classes. Our group here at Club Racing are thrilled to have them on board. Over the past 30 years, Isringhausen has become synonymous with quality vehicles and superb service. The Isringhausen way of doing business has been one of offering excellent products at fair prices, coupled with service that goes above and beyond what anyone would expect from a typical car dealership. We believe that good service is comprised of 2 components: a willing and helpful attitude, accompanied by competency in your field. We try to support an environment where each person who works here strives to serve each customer as they wish to be served, with dignity and respect. Because of these core values, Isringhausen has become and will continue to be a leading example in the industry.
One of our latest partners, Track Day Tire, is happy to be supporting Club Racing through their Toyo, Hoosier, and Michelin tires. Use the code PCACR for a discount at checkout. The TrackDayTire.com team is passionate about helping our customers extract the highest level of performance from their vehicles on the track. Decades of on-track experience has taught us purpose-designed track-use tires are arguably the single most important vehicle component that influences driver confidence to obtain maximum vehicle performance. Making it easier for our fellow Track Day enthusiasts to obtain confidence-inspiring tires is our goal. We look forward to providing you access to the best prices and customer support in the industry.
Communications of Virginia has been Virginia's leading provider in wireless communications solutions. As a Motorola Solutions Elite Channel partner, our 2 Metro Richmond locations provide the Commonwealth access to Motorola's full feature portfolio, including public safety and commercial tier solutions. And with over 100 years of combined experience, we've partnered with many manufacturers on unique communication solutions. Since 1954, we've been ready to take care of our clients as soon as they walk through our doors. Visit RCV's locations in Glen Allen or North Chesterfield, or view our full product lineup at rcvinc.com today. Welcome back to Virginia International Raceway. It is the Rumble at the Old Oak Tree presented by the Porsche Club of America. Here on Driver's Eye Live, I'm Greg Ginsburg along with Brian Donati, and we've got James Pardue here as well. And James, had a lot going on once again, just as we went to break. Good action out on the race course.
Yes, the chaos of the pit cycle almost over here. As we look in 9/11 Cup, just before we went to caution, we just picked up that battle between Jason Nikic and Eugene Basha on timing and scoring, showing them second and third. But remember, we got to remember the 50 Donald Enger still has not come in for his pit stop yet. So when we go back to green, that will be effectively the battle for the lead in 9/11 Cup.
All right, and Brian, we did have, just before the full course caution came out, a number of drivers come down the pit lane and get that service in order to get them to the checkered flag.
Yeah, I tell you what, we've got right now waiting to go back out. We've got the 47 there, Patrick James. You've got the 122 there, Michael Venable. You've got the 4 of Sam Amano trying to go back out. We've got the 43 machine also, and again, they're not going to let them out until the pace car goes back by there.
Yeah, so essentially the drivers that are ready to go back out on the pit lane, they're going to lose another lap because the pace car, or safety car, pardon me, who's bringing the field down through the roller coaster now as we take a look at them here, they're going to basically bring that entire field that's already out on track by and past the pit lane before these cars here are released.
Well, not really losing a lap. They're going to the tail end of the field because they came in before the double yellow, so
right.
That puts them at the tail end of the field.
Well,
so
but whereas I think
them.
these drivers were anticipating if they had been released a few moments ago when they pulled up,
right,
they would have.
Yeah, right, would have been able to get back around. So
right,
here it makes it a little easier.
But they also would have been one lap further along than they will be here, because they would have driven around to catch up to the back. Here they're going to be forced to drop in behind. They actually lose a lap.
Still trying to work to get that Nathan Stiles machine. He's been there for, just coming up on 30 minutes remaining. I think he's been there for 30 minutes.
Well, it looks like they're getting them hooked up right now.
Yeah. And again, when you got a transmission issue, you can't. You can't get it in neutral.
They likely need to get the rear end of that car up in the air.
Absolutely.
Yep. I wish we could get a mic down to Nathan Stiles. He'd be good to let us know who's coming in the pit lane.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and as they get the car turned around, they'll be coming right at him. He'll be able to pick it up for us easily.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just slightly kind of off the edge there. When he was there, as there goes our rest of our cars now being released down off the pit lane. That as you were mentioning, Greg. So yeah, they'll jump into the back end of the field. Like James, like you were talking about, this 9/11 Cup. You've got Jason Nikic, and then now you've got Eugene Basha. They are literally nose to tail on this restart. And again, Donald Enger getting to that point where technically you only have 19 more minutes left to go before you have to pit, because they close with 10 minutes left to go.
With 10 minutes remaining, exactly.
Basically, or in the Enduro. So you've really got to make sure that you get that as quickly done as possible, because if not, that is going to hurt.
Yeah, exactly. And I mentioned it earlier, but just the way that the cautions have come out, this 90-minute Enduro's almost kind of been broken up perfectly into 3 30-minute sprint races here, because we went the first 30 minutes, had the caution, and now we're just under 30 minutes and should be going back to green this time by. So another chance just sort of to reset for everybody. And
So what you're saying, it's NASCAR with competition yellows.
That's right, yes.
That's correct.
We're doing a stage racing today.
Exactly. All right, quickly here, we'll go try and break things down here by class for you. Our overall leader at the moment is Colin Doherty in the number 86 G-Class 1988 Porsche 950. And he is running currently and again, we're under full course caution, but about 6 seconds up on David Nisbaum. Nisbaum is actually running 6th overall, so got 4 cars between the two of them. Michael Gershon is currently 17 laps down. He ran 6 laps and retired the 06 Boxster. In GT4, Doug Switzer, our sole driver in the class. He's completed 21 laps. In 9/11 Cup, as we've mentioned, we think Donald Enger, the sole driver remaining to pit, he's run 23 laps. Jason Nikic and Eugene Basha have completed 21 laps. They're running second and third. Eric Golozovic, who pitted in right at the beginning of the race with some mechanical issues, went back out. He's also taken his pit stop. He is currently 20 laps complete. In SP3, Ken Agina is your leader. He and Robert Linder are on their 24th lap. And then running in third position, John Payton, who is currently showing is 2 laps down. In the I class, Sam Amano, your sole racer in the class, he's completed 21 laps. And in Spec Cayman, Waleed Chehadi is your leader currently with 23 laps. And have we confirmed whether the 147 car has pitted yet?
I don't believe he has.
Right.
Everybody that's on lap 23 right now, getting ready to come up to lap 24, I don't believe they have pitted, and that's 13 cars
As the
right
rest of
now.
Spec Cayman is at 21 laps. We are going back to green flag racing, and we are back underway here at Virginia International Raceway. So Chehadi currently your leader, with showing 2 laps up on Paul Van Eden and Eric Yortsoy, who are running second and third. Patrick James running in 4th position. In Spec Boxster, it's Tamara Elbaga at 24 laps complete with Dan Rubel running in second with Ryan Farragut third. And they are all on the lead lap with Lawson Wilder and Rob Walker 4th and 5th showing a lap down.
Those top 3 in Spec Boxers have not pitted well either. So don't be surprised if you don't see them finish this lap and come down into the pit stops. A lot of those drivers are right here in front of us. Their pit stalls that they've selected are right there. So again, trying to get through everything here as we've got kind of a gaggle coming up through the snake.
And as they come over to the uphill S's, I thought perhaps they'd go single file, but no, they kept it side by side there, all the way into the entrance at turn number 7, the beginning of the uphill S's, and 2 of them side by side all the way up the hill and in the South Bend. I was thinking that, perhaps as we were now over an hour into this 90-minute race, that some of these Spec Boxers probably would have needed by this time to come down the pit lane and take fuel.
Well,
but with these
yellows,
long double yellow periods,
right,
they could basically extend this out as much as possible, maybe get a couple of flyers in before they come down the pit lane.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't try to get a single file as quickly as possible coming down through the backstretch right here to see. And it looks like, we did have some debris there, but Jason Nicholas just took it off the racetrack.
Thank you, Jason.
So Jason just cleaned off the racetrack with one of those little bumper covers there. So again, now we're going to go 3 wide. We're going to go 3 wide down over the hill in the roller coaster, Greg. So again, not something you want to see here early on, but they're able to work through it and get back single file. Some of them were 2 wide there coming over the hill. Like I said, don't be surprised if some of these Spec Boxers don't pull in and come down pit road right now. Here he is. We've got several of them. And as a matter of fact, here comes all of them right now.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, your Spec Boxster class right there.
Rubel, Tamer, Zaka, and then you've got the 291.
I saw Farragut there as well. Yeah. Wilder coming in as well. And we'll have to see here because, some of the folks that pitted in early, like Rob Walker, Joe Ailman, Sam Halabi, they're only showing as being a lap down. And we've seen here, a 5-minute pit stop is approximately 2 laps, Brian. So these drivers, they'll probably end up being a lap down from the leaders in class when they come out.
Well, they may not be a lap down because they've got a full lap ahead, so they'll come out in the end behind them. And I think really the second double yellow that we had really kind of hurt their
them.
strategy,
right?
right?
Exactly.
And James, you and I talked about this earlier on. It's you want to get it done, but you want to make sure that you could try to get in the lead and have that gap so that when you do pit, as Greg was mentioning, probably going to be a lap down because it's going to take 2 laps really for that 5-minute mark. So again, it's going to depend on where they come out, whether or not you end up with Rob Walker's going to basically inherit the lead again because I think Lawson Wilder has not pitted yet either, even though he was already a lap down from earlier on. So Rob Walker, Joel Ailman, and then Sam Halabi, that should be your battle when this pit cycle here works out But it's going to depend on where they come out and where they are on the racetrack. If they get, bottlenecked behind other cars, that's just that much gap. So all these three need.
Well, there were a ton of Boxsters in between Eugene Basha and Jason Nikic. I'm sure he's very delighted to see most of them pulled onto pit road. Now you can see right up on the back of him once again there coming down the hill. I also noticed in SP3, I don't believe Ken Agina has pitted yet.
No, he has not.
No, he has not.
So that's he's still out in the lead in SP3. He's been leading pretty much the whole race so far, but he's still
there. He is right now.
Oh, there we go, right there.
So see, he heard you. He heard you and said, "I need to pit."
I've got a radio link to him, so I'm glad he's taking my advice.
All right, it looks like we've got another machine coming down the pit lane as well. We'll try and get the number on that in just a moment.
Yeah, the top the top five. Well, actually, you got a Gina in there in pit road now. You've got Gene Raimondi, who hasn't pitted yet, and Joe Dillon in the 52 hasn't pitted yet either. So basically right now the top 7 cars in this have not made a pit stop. Colin Doherty is your first car that has made his pit stop.
Yeah.
That's your 8th place position. Again, that's in G class. And then you've got the 411 of David Nissenbaum. He is the next car in 9th. He has already made his pit stop. So that's not only a battle in class, that is going to propel them up to the top. And again, you only have 12 minutes left to get this done because the pits close
with 10 minutes
remaining. So
another car now working its way in between the battle for 911 Cup. Jason Nikic pulling out a bit more time as they head up the hill. Ken Agina had a huge gap prior to that second safety car and then lost a lot of time there, Brian.
Yeah, so Gene Raimondi is now on pit road. So is Ryan McGrath in that age class, which means we still have 4 cars have not pitted as of yet. So
how much longer is Donald Anger going to hang on for in that 50 machine?
Well, I think Donald's going to try to get it as much as he can. Now, here's the question, and I think this is more is if you pit with 11 minutes left to go, right? So you make it in between before that 10 minutes, and now you have 5 minutes. You have that. So at that point, it becomes maybe that strategy doesn't work out very well either. And a lot of these drivers will try to do that based off of they know the consistency of their cars and the times and everything else. They will end up pitting with, right at the very end.
Yeah, and just looking at the lap times between Jason Nikic and Eugene Basha, down in the low 2-minute 10s and 2 laps down on Donald Anger. So it's going to be close when Anger finishes his 5 minutes. We'll see.
Yeah, well, he's on pit road right now. So he's just now coming down to his group, to his pit stop. So he's going to take his 5 minutes. That's going to start right now. As he's in. So we'll see where that happens.
Well, and if Nikic and Eugene Basha get caught up in any traffic as well, that's going to only aid Donald Anger. But it should be about 30 seconds they come out. So it'll be a pretty big gap to try and overcome for Anger with just about 20 minutes left to go here in this first Enduro.
All right, and real quick, I just want to jump in, and if we could get coming down, just now coming off the pit lane, we've got the two 944s basically racing on the pit lane to the end of the pit lane. They were side by side coming down to the exit of the pit lane to the point of
watching a NASCAR race.
Yes,
right
exactly.
There, right?
It was like the battle to the line right there.
Yeah, exactly. So that was the 86 Colin Doherty. So
right.
Where I had said that he had already made his pit stop, he had not. He was on pit road during that time frame. You had the 86 there, and then you had the 18
car.
Yeah,
and we're getting actually word from the pit lane that there was contact between the two cars on the pit lane. I mean, if Rupping is racing, when you're only doing it at 35 miles an hour, it's okay.
That's still kind of a no-no, though.
No harm, no foul. Right?
So I believe the only car right now, the only 2 cars would be the 159 Terrence Judge. He has not pitted yet, I believe, and then Walid Tridati has not pitted as well. So we'll have to see there. Everybody else, Anger's on pit road, McGrath's on pit road. This is actually going to throw at the end of all of this. This is going to throw Eric Yortsoy back into the front of the overall. Remember, he had that battle earlier on
Oh, yeah,
with the 133.
And Brian, as the pit cycle ended for the G class, we had Colin Doherty in the lead, but David Nissenbaum in the 411 white and orange 2000 Boxster took over the lead from Colin Doherty. Margin right now about 8 seconds between those two racers.
Yeah.
So it looks as though as things, I think Doherty was leading as the pit cycle began, and as the pit cycle ended, he's now in second.
Yeah.
And there's our leader, Kenagina, making his way off of pit road. He served his 5-minute cycle. Was your leader in SP3. So we'll see where he sorts back out once he gets running again. And Brian, I think I heard, was that 771 that they're calling in for a black flag? I believe that might have been Daniel Rubel in Spec Porsche Boxster.
Oh, maybe, because he just now went past the start-finish line. He was part of that group that came in with the 165 there of Tamer Elbaga and Ryan Farragut. He was that lead car. So we'll have to see on timing, because if that means that he went out too soon, that means the other two's more than likely going to go out too soon.
and given that when they crossed the line to complete the last lap, he was 89 1,000ths of a second ahead of Elbaga, that's going to be absolutely painful, knowing that he jumped the gun a little bit, leaving his pit stall.
We should see Donald Enger here coming off of pit road pretty soon. Jason Nikic and Eugene Basha should be coming around to put themselves back onto the lead lap here in a second. So we'll see how big that gap is in 911 Cup. But Jason Nikic and Basha still nose to tail. There were 2/10 separating them last time by.
Yeah, Donald Enger still sitting down here on pit road looking over at his team.
Yeah, and we also have, of course, Wahid Jihadi in the 147 car. I believe, though, they may be the only two cars remaining on the pit lane at the moment.
Yeah.
Here comes Basha and Nikic down the front straightaway, and Eugene Basha now actually out in front of the 27. And they're going to overtake Donald Enger. So the 23, Eugene Basha, now in the lead in 911 Cup with 16 minutes to go. And it's not going to be close for Enger. Enger's going to be a fair bit back once he finally gets off of pit road, as we see our top two there rounding out of turn number 2, heading towards NASCAR now.
Well, the question becomes, and I think I know the answer to this, is that the minute that Donald Enger goes across the start-finish line, he will have completed his lap 27. So, yeah, he's going to be quite a few seconds back.
Yeah, and so Wahadi and Enger now leaving their pit stalls, heading back out onto the track. And so, yes, this will put Enger now about 36 seconds in arrears of both Basha and Nikic. And Wahadi in the Spec Boxster class, this will put him down. Where is this going to put it? I'm sorry, he's not in Spec Boxster. He's in Spec Cayman. Drops him down to 5th in Spec Cayman.
Getting word that they did black flag again, the 771. He did not acknowledge, so they're going to try it one more time,
and then
I think it would be you stop scoring.
Yep.
So if somebody has word, you may want to send a radio signal down to
your driver.
To your driver that he's going to need to come down the pit. Because I don't believe, again, they gave it to him before, and I believe that is Daniel Rubel in that 771. So that's the call we're hearing. So.
Brian, I can't believe that through 90 minutes and all these pit stop cycles, who is it that we have battling for the lead at the end? It's again a battle in 911 Cup. Just phenomenal that they're only half a second after all that's gone down. We've had cautions, we've had pit cycles. It's been very, very action-packed. The 90 minutes so far have just flown by. But yeah, it's going to come down between the 23 and 27. They've got about 14 minutes left to go. Basha stretching his legs a little bit down the front straightaway now. It's Jason Nikic now backed 1.5 seconds as they came across the line. But they've got a decent bit of free track up in front of them. But that's just going to benefit Eugene Basha at the moment in the 23. Looking at SPC as well, the 321. Eric Yortsoy is out in front by 2.2 seconds ahead of the 648 Paul Van Eden. I think that's your next closest battle for a lead position is in your Spec Cayman class.
And the overall pits, in order to make your pit stop, it's going to close in about 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
So, again, we've got to make sure.
Also looking back in SP3, Kenagina just about 2 laps ago came out of the pits after completing his stop and was leading most of the way, but now 42 seconds he sits back from John Patton, who now leads in SP3. So I think Kenagina had that huge gap before that second safety car and just lost all of it, and now sitting with quite the deficit to overcome with just a little over 10 minutes remaining.
And just a reminder, we are not done with our racing here today at Virginia International Raceway. We do have our Orange Enduro race sponsored by and presented by Lockton Motorsports. That will start this afternoon at 12:05 p.m. So we're going to take a little bit of a break for lunch right after this race ends, and then we'll come back with one more 90-minute run to the checkered flag for you here. And of course, make sure to join us here in just a few weeks as we return for our next Porsche Club of America race, April 11th through 13th at the beautiful Michelin Raceway Road, Atlanta. And it should be a wonderful time there. Such a scenic, much like Virginia International Raceway, just a classic American racetrack. One of those throwbacks opened in 1970. And a course that just strikes fear into so many racers.
Well, that's because there's just so much elevation. There's the 159, Terrence Judge. He's now pulling. I'm not sure if he's going to go back out or is he calling it a day. He is barely moving down pit road. And again, that was the race for H. Now that he's made it, I'm not sure if he's going out, but he is very slow down on pit lane.
Yeah, and he's already I think he's right up by the start finish stripe, showing as on the same lap, about 13 seconds back. So it looks like he is making his way onto the course there.
We'll have to.
All right, sounds like the 18 car. Who was part of that incident
with the 86
on the opening lap. Yeah, he just spun the car down at turn 1, has gotten that car back underway. That was Robert Linder.
Daniel Rubel now making his stop and go down here into the pits. So he is back out on track. That's going to drop him all the way back down into 6th place in the Spec Boxster. So.
Yeah, and not only 6th place, but also about 20 seconds back from the battle and that group of 3 that he was fighting with Tamara Vega,
right?
Ryan Farragut and Sam Halabi. Should mention that whole pack is now kind of stretched out after the pit cycles as well.
Yeah, pretty much the closest battle on the racetrack, and we'll see whether or not we can pick this up, is the 411, the white and orange Boxster of David Nissenbaum, and the 86 of Colin Doherty. Last time by was 5/100ths of a second difference, so they were almost side by side last time at the start line. So we'll look to pick those up. They're going to be mixed in with probably a few other cars coming down, so we'll have to see where we can pick them up at. But that's kind of the closest battle on the racetrack right now as far as class goes. There is battles on the racetrack within other classes, but I believe that is going to be the closest battle for the win in this. And that is in our G class, so we'll look for them to come back by with just under 9 minutes left to go, right around 9-minute mark. There goes Terrence Judge. There's Colin Doherty, and there goes David Nissenbaum. So now Doherty's opened that up by 1.2 seconds. So where they came out last time across the start-finish line, Doherty's opened that up.
And as we mentioned earlier, at this point we are now under that 10-minute mark. Pits are closed. The only drivers you're going to see coming down the pit lane now is if they are black flagged for some reason, if the officials need to have them come down. But if you have not completed your pit cycle now, you're not going to have it.
Yeah, just looking through timing and scoring, I think everybody, at least everybody that's still running right now, managed to make it in for their 5 minutes. I'd be interested to go back and look. I just am so curious how much time Ken Gina lost in that safety car window, because he was almost a minute out in front even before the pit cycle started, and now 45 seconds back from John Patton, who is pretty safely out in front. But Rob Walker, looking back at Spec Porsche Boxer, he was a bit early to pit as well, but it's worked out for him now. 23, almost 24 seconds between himself and Joel Ailman at the moment. It's insane how much that pit cycle just completely stretched out our Spec Porsche Boxster. The first 40, 45 minutes of the race, Brian, they were pretty much the whole field all together, at least from second on back. But now after the pit cycle, it's really stretched out that field.
Yeah. You look at some of these times, and they kind of level out there halfway through the race, and again having the 2 double yellows. And now we have drivers like Jason Nickett, who just set his fastest lap time on lap 31, right? And he didn't come in and take tires, and I think he took some fuel. But now you come out to that Sam Amano in that I class, in that number 4. In that 2014 came and just went and did his fastest lap on lap 31 with a 2:07.869. So again, drivers just now getting to where those cars are starting to come back up.
Yeah, and just with a bit under 7 minutes to go, don't count out Jason Nickett yet. He's been fast all weekend, and that gap already dropping back down now by about half a second from where it was just a lap ago. So that battle for 911 Cup, as we dwindle down in the time, probably about 3 or 4 laps left in this race, we might see that battle heat back up before we see the checkered flag in 911 Cup.
Right.
Yeah. We start to wind down here. We'll try to pick up that battle to find out where they're at. Pretty good battle there in Spec Boxer as they go by the start-finish line. That's I believe that's Sam Halabi. No, that was Joel Ailman, Tamara Baga, and then you've got Daniel Rubel in there. But that's not for position, because it's a different lap at that point.
And we just had a local caution down at turn 1. Looks like somebody went off course. Try and get the number for you. It does sound as though the car has continued, however. And it was the 771.
That's Daniel Rubel.
Yeah.
What a bad turn of events for him at the end of the race with the black flag, and now an off down in turn 1. Not the way he wanted his Enduro to go this morning, for sure.
So there goes James Nickett down into turn 1. So headed down in here. That's your 911 battle. Eugene Basha now. So that battle's kind of really opened up. That's almost 6.5, 8 seconds.
Well,
so.
that's a lead change from the last time by. Basha was almost a second out, so I'm not sure if Basha had an off at somewhere on the south end of the track, Greg.
Real quick, I'm getting word now that the 771 car, Dan Rubel, just had a spin over turn 5 as well. Well, I'm starting to wonder if perhaps he's putting down some fluid onto the rear wheels, possibly, and he's gone and he's continued once again. The local caution has been dropped. But that car is starting to have some challenges making its way around the course. So we'll watch the pit lane and see. He may possibly end up being an early retirement. He seems to be up to speed there coming through South Bend. So we'll
have to find out during lunch. Did we just lose talent in the last 15 minutes? Because it just seems like it's going away from him
what's
after
happening to
watching
us
him all
here.
week.
So,
Usually what happens after 90 minutes.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Brian, I do think that Eugene Basha must have dipped off somewhere, because his last lap was 8 seconds slower than Jason Nickett. So he must have had an incident somewhere on the south end of the circuit that we didn't quite pick up. But unfortunate, that battle was just starting to heat up. But about 4 minutes to go. That's going to be a big deficit to overcome unless Nickett has an off somewhere. So we'll have to wait and see.
Well, got to keep an eye on that, because it's more of a, we've seen these 911 cars. They tend to drop out every now and then. Well, now we're getting now we're getting word that our overall leader, the next time by, which would be Eric Yortsoy, the call on the radio, Greg, came over as finger. I guess that means there's one lap
Yes,
to go.
basically, and we've seen this all weekend long. Not that you're actually, it is that you're number one, but that you have one lap remaining. They've been showing the drivers the index finger, no special sign, no white flag, what have you.
Yeah.
And so Eric Yortsoy, who is our overall leader at the moment in his number 321 white and blue spec Cayman, he will be starting his last lap, and all following cars will as well.
Pick up where he is right now.
Yeah, and so Yortsoy, who started third in Spec Cayman and fourth overall today, currently your leader on track, Paul Van Eden, also in Spec Cayman. Van Eden started ninth overall today. Currently runs second, about 14 seconds in arrears of Yortsoy.
Should be getting ready to come down the roller coaster here. Picking up Eric Yortsoy, I believe that is him right there.
There he is.
Perfect
Thank you.
Timing.
Thank you, Spencer.
We got it. So Eric Yortsoy doing his last lap, I believe. So
Yortsoy's been great all day. Just lap times have been consistent. Obviously, he's had the reliability, but also keeping a cool head as we early in the race where we saw just everybody seemingly going off and trying to win the race down in turn one at the start, but managed to keep himself out of trouble. And great movement for him in SPC, your overall leader, as he takes the white flag now, working his final lap.
Yeah, everybody behind him now working that final lap again. No real big close battles. Everybody's got the gaps in between there, and a lot of that has to do with, unfortunately, with the two double yellows, and plus you're trying to strategize, as we were talking about at the beginning of this race. So within class, that separation, and it is just so hard to overcome. Looks like we're getting Joel Ailman as well, getting another spin-off there as well. So
yeah, and he's gotten the car back on track. And
but he was second in Boxster.
Spec Boxster. Yeah, but had about 25 seconds on Tamer Albalga as this last lap continued. So we'll see if he's able to hold on to that.
Like we got one of our. Looks like we've got our 313 machine with some pretty heavy smoke coming down the hill there. And that's Frank Osborne. So that car not being able to finish 31 laps, maybe.
Well, yeah, and that's Frank Osborne currently sitting third in the ME1 class, 3 laps down from class leader Gene Raimondi. We'll see if he can make it to the end, but I guess if that's going to happen, probably the best time for it to happen as the rest of the field make it through. So let's catch up with our leader. He's right up at the top of the hill, and again, that is Eric Yortsoy. Eric Yortsoy, the number 321 machine, as he makes his way down the roller coaster for the very last time.
You see the remnants of the smoke there from Osborne, right there on your camera coming off. He has made it down pit road and behind the wall, so he is.
All right, so Yortsoy out of Boston, Massachusetts. 3 years racing with the Porsche Club of America, an 11-year member. He was your 2024 SPC class champion, and he's going to win today's yellow endurance race presented by clubregistration.net. Congratulations to Eric.
And Greg, we're getting word that there potentially could be some oil coming down the hill right there. So these last couple of cars coming down through here are going to do it. It's going to be a little bit, need to be cautious a little bit.
Sounds like they're covering with a flag as well.
Yeah,
Brian.
covering with a debris flag there so that they understand that there's potentially something there. So.
Yeah, indeed. It looks like the 648 machine, Paul Van Eden, just saw him come down the pit lane. He's going to finish this race on the pit lane rather than on the racetrack. We'll see how that plays out, but it looks as though he is going to end up taking the checker there, and he will finish third overall. So let's start running down the order here as our final cars are coming across the line. We'll start off with Spec Cayman. with Eric Yortsoy taking the win over Michael Venable. Margin of victory, 22.7 seconds. Paul Van Eden will finish third. Patrick James will finish just off the podium in fourth. In SP, let's move over to 911 Cup, where Jason Nikic will take the win over Eugene Basha. Margin of victory, 4 seconds. So for 90 minutes, only 4 seconds in these beautiful vintage 911s. Beautiful, wonderful finish there. Don Anger will come home in third. Eric Olozovic will finish 2 laps down in fourth. In the ME1 class, Gene Raimondi taking the win over Don Holmes. Frank Osborne finishing in third. In the H class, Ryan McGrath taking the win over Terrence Judge. Joe Dillon was your sole SP2 racer. He completes 34 laps. And in the G class, Colin Doherty will take the win over David Nissenbaum, with Michael Gershon coming home in third, only completing 6 laps. In GT4, Doug Switzer, your only racer today. And then if we move over to SP3, it's John Patton taking the win over Ken Agina. Almost a full minute separating those 2 racers, and we talked about Gina. Just unfortunately, the full course caution really caught him out. Robert Linder will finish 1 lap down in third. In the I class, Sam Amano, our sole racer in the class today. And then let's take a look in Spec Cayman. Actually, I already went over Spec Cayman. Or did I?
Yes, you did.
Yes, I did. So let's go over to Spec Boxster, which will be the final class, and it's going to be Rob Walker with the win. And, for a class that has been so tightly matched, and so closely matched in the sprint races all weekend, it just surprises me to see that the margin of victory for Rob Walker over Elman, that's the Eugene Basha car issue in the left rear there. Rob Walker, 46 seconds the advantage over Joe Ailman, who had that spin at the very end. Ailman will finish second, and he was able to hold off Tom Albega by another 15 seconds. Albega will finish in third. Sam Halabi fourth. Ryan Farragut will finish in fifth. All right, and unfortunately, there as we take a look at Eugene Basha's car, he had already taken the checkered flag. And
he was on his cool down lap.
Exactly, and apparently part of the car not so cool there on that final lap. Sorry about that. Thankfully, it happened at the very end of the weekend and not at the very beginning of the weekend. So they'll get that back, and hopefully we'll see him in a couple of weeks at Road Atlanta. So again, want to thank you all for watching our first of 2 endurance races of the day. This, the Yellow Group, presented by ClubRegistration.net. We're going to be back at 12:05 p.m. for our Orange Group endurance race, presented by Lockton Motorsports. Don't want you to miss that. So everybody, we'll see you in just a little bit over an hour, in about an hour and 10 minutes. Thank you all for joining us this morning, and we'll see you for more coverage in about an hour. We'll be back then.
A household name in U.S. road racing for nearly 25 years, Toyo Tires has forged a reputation for winning, performance, and consistency. From the company's legendary Proxys RA1 to the 2-groove Proxys RR, they have a history of getting drivers to the winner's circle. Their quality and performance extends beyond the track, offering owners a full line of premium tires for coupes to Cayennes. They are proud to build many of the tires right here in the United States at their state-of-the-art factory in Bartow County, Georgia. We thank them for their support of Porsche Club of America through club racing and the high-performance driver education program. Be sure to check out their contingency program if you race SP1 or Spec Boxster. To learn more about the full line of Toyo tires, visit www.toyotires.com.
Stable Energies takes pride in offering racers the very best in motorsport performance and safety equipment since 1978. Owner Bob Kikasik has been a PCA member for over 35 years and started club racing with PCA during its very first season. Located in northern New Jersey, Stable Energy stocks a wide variety of racing gear and motorsport products from top quality brands like O&P, Alpine Stars, Bell, Hans, Schroth, Paget, and Bray Kraus. Stable Energies is a master distributor for Recaro and the U.S. importer for safety devices roll cages, as well as the Eastern U.S. distributor for RSS Porsche Performance parts. You can shop with Stable Energies on their website, stableenergies.com, You can call and speak to a knowledgeable salesperson. They're happy to answer any of your questions. Or you can have one-on-one personal attention at their retail location just 10 minutes from New York City. PCA members receive special deals, so be sure to mention PCA Club Racing. Whether your fire system needs to be serviced, you need advice about a new race seater radio system, or you'll want to try on the coolest looking new driver suits, Stable Energies has yet covered.
Motion Control Suspension, or MCS, has proven to be the evolution of premium motorsports damper systems. Their team is continuously developing and refining damper technology that is vastly different from other manufacturers, developed through hands-on involvement in GT and touring car racing. While their roots are in the highest levels of professional sports car racing, their products excel in all environments, from enthusiastic street driving to autocross track days to club racing and far beyond. MCS is much more than just a great product. They have many years of practical racing experience both on and off the track, extensive knowledge of vehicle dynamics, and an understanding of driver expectations and needs. MCS is proud to be a sponsor of Porsche Club Racing and invites you to lean on their expertise for setup support and consultation.
HPDE season is here, and First Settlers Region is excited to see you all on track April 25th through 27th. We're fortunate enough to have Virginia International Raceway as our home track, the track Paul Newman called Heaven on Earth. The FSR Spring HPDE at VIR will have an exciting new opportunity. If you are an advanced driver and are interested in becoming an instructor, we will be having a PCA National Instructor Training that will coincide with the HPDE. If you are interested in becoming an HPDE instructor, our CTI will be reviewing registrations. If you are curious about HPDE but are uncertain about committing to an entire weekend, you can come to VIR on Saturday for Intro to DE, a classroom session and a single instructed session on track. Don't forget our Saturday happy hour, a great opportunity to socialize and tell tales about your lap times. Run groups are filling fast. Don't wait until it's too late. Register now to secure your spot on motorsportsreg.com.
Upper Canada Region is proud to host the 28th annual Can-Am Challenge Club Race at historic Mosport Raceway in Bowmanville, Ontario, Canada, Thursday, June 26th through 29th. Described by Juan Pablo Montoya as one of the most challenging tracks in the world with its elevation changes and blind corners, it's the fastest track IMSA races on. Another racer described the speed and elevation changes like landing on an aircraft carrier, the perfect high-speed track for any car. Get in gear and set a reminder in clubregistration.net. Registration opens May 12th. Our team is here to answer any of your questions, from border crossing to the best accommodations, to help you plan your trip to our amazing track. Reach out to club-race@pcaucr.org.
Potomac Region's premier event, Porsche Fest, is the weekend of July 25th. Come join our annual family reunion at Summit Point Motorsports Park, where members and enthusiasts across all of our programs, such as driver education, autocross, drive and dine, concourse, and rally, come together for a fun weekend at the track. From the barbecue dinner on Saturday night, taste of autocross, charity laps, to concourse, best of show, and all things Porsche Motorsports, it's always a great time at the track. So let's celebrate all things Porsche at Potomac's Porsche Fest.
HPDE season is here, and First Settlers Region is excited to see you all on track April 25th through 27th. We're fortunate enough to have Virginia International Raceway as our home track, the track Paul Newman called Heaven on Earth. The FSR Spring HPDE at VIR will have an exciting new opportunity. If you are an advanced driver and are interested in becoming an instructor, we will be having a PCA National Instructor Training that will coincide with the HPDE. If you are interested in becoming an HPDE instructor, our CTI will be reviewing registrations. If you are curious about HPDE but are uncertain about committing to an entire weekend, you can come to VIR on Saturday for Intro to DE, a classroom session and a single instructed session on track. Don't forget our Saturday happy hour, a great opportunity to socialize and tell tales about your lap times. Run groups are filling fast. Don't wait until it's too late. Register now to secure your spot on motorsportsreg.com.
Upper Canada Region is proud to host the 28th annual Can-Am Challenge Club Race at historic Mosport Raceway in Bowmanville, Ontario, Canada, Thursday, June 26th through 29th. Described by Juan Pablo Montoya as one of the most challenging tracks in the world with its elevation changes and blind corners, it's the fastest track IMSA races on. Another racer described the speed and elevation changes like landing on an aircraft carrier, the perfect high-speed track for any car. Get in gear and set a reminder in clubregistration.net. Registration opens May 12th. Our team is here to answer any of your questions, from border crossing to the best accommodations, to help you plan your trip to our amazing track. Reach out to club-race@pcaucr.org.
Potomac region's premier event, Porsche Fest, is the weekend of July 25th. Come join our annual family reunion at Summit Point Motorsports Park, where members and enthusiasts across all of our programs, such as driver education, autocross, drive and dine, concourse, and rally, come together for a fun weekend at the track. From the barbecue dinner on Saturday night, taste of autocross, charity laps, to concourse, best of show, and all things Porsche Motorsports, it's always a great time at the track. So let's celebrate all things Porsche at Potomac's.
If you're a PCA racer, Watkins Glen has got to be on your bucket list of tracks to drive. If you've driven it before, don't miss the chance to come back and improve your times and win on this track where great racers such as Jack Bratham, Sterling Moss, and Dan Gurney found glory. Maybe it's the sheer joy of racing on this superb, well-maintained track with its thrilling elevation changes, or imagining they're running with Mario Andretti, Jackie Ickx, or Derek Bell that brings out racers from all over the USA and Canada to make this Zone 1 club race one of the largest on the PCA Club Racing circuit. PCA members are welcome to attend and perhaps consider how they may make the transition from driver education to club racing. The fun-filled weekend will include 3 sprint races and 1 65-minute enduro race, along with an advanced solo DE run group. Registration opens on clubregistration.net on April 21st. Experience the ultimate celebration of Porsche passion at the annual PCA Parade. This week-long extravaganza from July 6th to the 12th is a must-attend event for Porsche enthusiasts of all ages, offering a perfect blend of social, competitive, and educational activities. From the Concours d'Elegance to the autocross, to the scenic driving tours, to the tech sessions, to the banquets, to the social events, there's something for everyone. Whether you're a seasoned collector, a weekend racer, or simply love the brand, the PCA Parade is your chance to immerse yourself in a community that shares your passion. Set in Oklahoma City this year, a central location in the United States right along historic Route 66, join us for an unforgettable celebration of everything Porsche. Whether you're polishing your car for the concourse, taking on the autocross course, or joining a scenic driving tour, the PCA Parade promises memories that will last a lifetime. Secure your spot today and join us for a week of excitement, connection, and all things Porsche. To learn more and register, please visit PorscheParade.org.
We're thrilled to announce the highly anticipated Racing of the Spring race at iconic Lime Rock Park, set for April 25th and 26th. This marks the 33rd year of this exciting event, and it's the perfect opportunity to take your Porsche out on the thrilling 1.53-mile road course and experience the rush of racing alongside fellow Porsche enthusiasts. With exhilarating action, breathtaking views, and a vibrant atmosphere, this event is truly one you don't want to miss. It's going to be a weekend filled with high-speed excitement, camaraderie, and unforgettable moments. Whether you're behind the wheel or cheering from the sidelines, racing into spring promises to be an amazing time for everyone. Mark your calendars now. This is one event you want to be a part of. We can't wait to see you there.
PCA Club Racing goes the Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. The Peach State region will be hosting the race weekend on April 11th through 13th, 2025. The 2.5-mile circuit opened in 1970 and has been the host for thousands of pro race series, including AOMS, IMSA, NASCAR, Trans Am, Pirelli World Challenge, and more. Racers will get 3 sprint races and 1 enduro race, earning points for the national championship. Eligible cars will also earn points for the Club Sports Series and the Triple Trofeo Championships. Non-racers can participate in HPDE sessions for solo drivers of all skill levels. All marks are welcome for the HPDE. Please go to clubregistration.net to sign up today.
Join us for a 7-day cruise, the Treffen at Sea, to celebrate the 70th anniversary of Porsche Club. We'll be cruising August 30th to September 6th and showcasing the history and majesty of the East Coast. We'll stop in Newport, in Boston, Portland and St. John, and Halifax along the way, where you'll find import Porsche events. You'll also enjoy special entertainment, Porsche celebrity appearances, seminars, competitions, dinners, and the highly anticipated Porsche Diecast Concourse at Sea. The Enchanted Princess will both depart and return from New York City, making it a round trip. You'll experience incredible cuisine, culture, history, and nature, plus Porsche surprise events when we stop at port. To learn more and register, please visit PCA.org and click the Events tab.
Maverick Region PCA is excited to announce our Eagles Canyon 1 Club race May 24th and 25th. We'll be racing on the counterclockwise 2.7-mile course with 15 turns at over 200 feet of elevation change. All races have points towards the PCA National and Mid-America Championships. Expect 2 practices qualifying at a 30-minute sprint race on Saturday and 2 additional sprint races on Sunday, one 30 minutes long and one 40 minutes long. Podium-winning trophies for race classes with a 4+ car count and additional awards will be presented at the Saturday evening tasting banquet at the Over the Top Bar and Grill at Eagles Canyon Raceway.
The Shenandoah Porsche region invites you to the RPM weekend September 13th at Richmond International Raceway for a special autocross on the track. Not in the parking lot, mind you, but on the very same track that NASCAR and IndyCar race. Opened in 1953, RIR is a 3/4-mile D-shaped oval track with a 14-degree banking, and maximizing the 860-foot straightaway, we're focusing on a high-speed flowing course. The extra special trait here is the sound your car will make reverberating off the grandstands, especially down that long back straight. It's truly a special experience that car enthusiasts can seldom experience. Register online at motorsportsreg.com.
and just parked itself on the pit lane just ahead of us, and that one definitely looks like it's going to be taking fuel. Hood is up at the front.
Okay. Yeah, so I know that they've been playing around with that a little bit, so.
Yeah, and I know, I think just to make a quick mention, I know we've had some issues with our live stream. We're still working on some of the technical challenges with YouTube right now. Hopefully we'll get that resolved in just a few moments, as we are coming up on now just hitting the 40-minute mark, so about 50 minutes remaining here in the race. Let's quickly go and recap the field, or as opposed to kneecapping the field, which is I think I've actually hit my kneecap about 6 times today. Not that you all should be sorry for me. All right, so in GTV1 and our overall leader, it is Ed Dunn. And running second to Dunn is Mitch Bowling, and I think, as you mentioned, he's already come down the pit lane, it looks like, to take a pit stop. Mike McMenamin as well. Peter Habestad. Actually, no, I don't think they've come down. They're all on the same. They're all on the same 20th lap at this point. Peter Habestad is running in 4th position in GTV1. In GTD2, Robert G and the burn car again on the pit lane currently. You're shown as your leader with David Harrington a lap down. Scott Baer running in 3rd. In GTD3, Chris Dooley showing as your leader. The number 751 came in GT4 RS Club Sport. Ray Ramirez
has many sizes to fit your Porsche perfectly, and their unique touches ensure that your trailer will be as functional as it is beautiful. Trailux Trailers sponsors the Novice Racer Award, a gift certificate given to the second-time racer who exemplifies the club racing spirit.
HPDE season is here, and First Settlers Region is excited to see you all on track April 25th through 27th. We're fortunate enough to have Virginia International Raceway as our home track, the track Paul Newman called Heaven on Earth. The FSR Spring HPDE at VIR will have an exciting new opportunity. If you are an advanced driver and are interested in becoming an instructor, we will be having a PCA National Instructor training that will coincide with the HPDE. If you are interested in becoming an HPDE instructor, our CTI will be reviewing registrations. If you are curious about HPDE but are uncertain about committing to an entire weekend, you can come to VIR on Saturday for Intro to DE, a classroom session and a single instructed session on track. Don't forget our Saturday happy hour, a great opportunity to socialize and tell tales about your lap times. Run groups are filling fast. Don't wait until it's too late. Register now to secure your spot on motorsportsreg.com.
Upper Canada region is proud to host the 28th annual Can-Am Challenge Club Race at historic Mosport Raceway in Bowmanville, Ontario, Canada, Thursday, June 26th through 29th. Described by Juan Pablo Montoya as one of the most challenging tracks in the world with its elevation changes and blind corners, it's the fastest track IMSA races on. Another racer described the speed and elevation changes like landing on an aircraft carrier. The perfect high-speed track for any car. Get in gear and set a reminder in clubregistration.net. Registration opens May 12th. Our team is here to answer any of your questions, from border crossing to the best accommodations, to help you plan your trip to our amazing track. Reach out to club-race@pcaucr.org.
Potomac Region's premier event, Porsche Fest, is the weekend of July 25th. Come join our annual family reunion at Summit Point Motorsports Park, where members and enthusiasts across all of our programs, such as driver education, autocross, drive and dine, concourse, and rally, come together for a fun weekend at the track. From the barbecue dinner on Saturday night, taste of autocross, charity laps, to concourse, best of show, and all things Porsche Motorsports, it's always a great time at the track. So let's celebrate all things Porsche at Potomac's Porsche Fest.
Welcome back to Virginia International Raceway, the Rumble at the Old Oak Tree, presented by the Porsche Club of America. And this is our Orange Endurance Race presented by Lockton Motorsports. I'm Greg Ginsberg, along with Brian Donati and James Pardue. And we've had some technical issues here on the YouTubes. Hopefully we've got those resolved now. But we are back to live action as we are now just about 50 minutes into this 90-minute race. Let's reset the field here for everybody real quick. In GTC 7, Bela Stanko is not only your overall leader, but your class leader. The GTC 7 with Troy Peterson and Ariel German running second and third in class. In GTC 8, Colin Mazzola, your leader, with Price Ford second, Joseph Viola running 3 laps down in third, and then the pair of Stafford and Friedman in the 999 machine running in fourth. In GTD 3, Chris Dooley, your leader, with Robert Ramirez and T. Burke running in second, Joseph Petkis running in third, a lap down. In GTD 2, it's the team of GN Byrne, the number 527 Cayman GT4 Club Sport, with a lead over David Harrington and Scott Baer. And in GTB1, Ed Dunn, your leader, with Mike McMenamin showing as a lap down, Peter Habestad and Mitch Bowling third and fourth. Gentlemen?
Tell you what, when we went to break, we had a flurry of cars on pit road. The 262 there of Joseph Viola, he ended up making his pit stop. He is now back out on the racetrack. The 511 of Mitch Bowling still sitting on pit road. He should be getting ready to take off any moment to conclude his 5 minutes. The 999 there, I believe that is Corey Freeman, have gotten in that car. That car has completed that 5-minute pit stop, and they are out. The 140 just left pit road, so I believe the father, Brenna's father, is now in that car taking off. Joel Johnston has come off pit road. There goes Mitch Bowling in the 511. One of the things that I noticed, James, and we thought this may happen, nobody changed tires. It was just fuel only, driver changes where they needed, and then right back out on the racetrack.
Exactly, and I'm just looking back in GTC 8. You brought up Joseph G. Viola. I believe he was your leader at the time of pitting. Now Colin Mazzola and Price Ford, the only two in GTC 8 to not come in for their pit stops yet. So it'll be interesting to see Joseph Viola down in the 154s. He's running faster than Mazzola at the moment, but obviously 3 laps down because we still are waiting for the 251 to come in for his pit stop. Before we went to the commercial break, we were looking at further back here, I believe it was, in GTD3, Trinka in the 17, and that gap has grown immensely between himself and Remy Farid in the 53. Now well over a minute that he has over the 53, and I believe Chris Dooley, Burke, and Joseph Petkis in the 83. Those guys, has Petkis pitted yet?
I think he might have.
Yes, he has, actually.
I think the only 3 cars or 4 cars I have that have not pitted, and we're getting some calls, some black flags coming across the radio now where they did not, they left too soon. But I think the only cars that I see that it may not have pitted just yet based off of looking at the laps, and that is Belastenko in that 20 machine, Colin Mazzola in the 251, Price Ford in the 12. Troy Peterson has been on pit road, but that was for another reason. I don't believe he is completely pitted. Chris Dooley, I don't believe, has pitted yet in the 751, unless I missed one or the last 2. But I do believe that you should be seeing them coming with 30 minutes, 35 minutes left to go in this race. And I believe where you're hearing, there goes Mitch Bowling down the start-finish line. We've got one car coming off pit road right now. That's the 475 machine. That's Ariel German. So it looks like that is. But like I said, we'll try to get some of these numbers, but I do believe there is a few black flag for some of these. And we saw this in the earlier race where they're going to have to come in and do a stop and go and back out, and that could cost someone a class win.
Yeah, so we'll keep an eye and wait to see for the people who are going to have to come back and serve whatever remaining time that they didn't on their initial stop. Also going to keep an eye out for Colin Mazzola, as we said. That will be interesting to see what his gap to the 262 of Viola is when he comes back out. It's interesting. Kyle Zaretta, I think, or not Kyle Zaretta, now Trinka in the 17 was your leader in GTD3 when he came in for his pit stop, but now that's shuffled around. The 83 having already made his pit stop, and he's now already a full lap ahead of the 17.
Yeah. Here comes the Dunn machine, as I was talking about earlier. So now Ed Dunn getting his pit stops done. So he is going to get out. Looks like they are going to put fuel in that machine. They're waiting for that driver to get out. and then they'll put some fuel in it, and then they'll get him back in.
Yeah, I mean, so obviously in our last endurance race where we had those multiple full course cautions that extended that fuel range of the cars immensely, maybe even to the point where some of them didn't need any fuel at all. They just had to sit for the 5 minutes. Here with all this green flag running, and you can't make the assumption that yellow flag is going to come out. These drivers obviously now making sure that they have fuel to the end.
Yeah, and Ed Dunn with, I believe, Mike McMiniman. Yeah, he's already, as you said, Brian, come in for his pit. So that's the 5:02. So let's keep an eye on his lap times as we see Ed Dunn on pit road while he just started his 5-minute pit stop. So we'll see if that gap comes down. He'll put himself back onto the lead lap the next time he comes by in the 5:02, and we'll see where Ed Dunn comes out in relation to it. He might still come out ahead of McMiniman. Ed Dunn just had such a commanding lead in GTB1 when he came in for his mandatory pit stop.
Well, McMiniman just left pit road, so McMiniman just took off. The actual black flag that came out for the stop and go was for Mitch Bowling. So Mitch Bowling having to come back down and do a stop and go penalty on that. But as you said, McMiniman, he just left pit road when Ed Dunn came in.
Yes, and showing that he was only a lap down on Ed Dunn on my timing and scoring, which I guess because he came in the lap. Yeah, because he just came in the lap before. So yeah, so still we should keep an eye on that and see how that gap changes as we see whenever Ed Dunn rolls out of the pit lane in the 98.
Yeah, we'll look to see where McMiniman is. Like I said, it could be, that could be the one that just went 2 wheels off up there in the oak tree, because that's a pure white car, and that's the car I was following earlier on. He may have gotten 2 wheels off there, continued coming down, but and I'm almost positive that is the McMiniman car that did put the 2 wheels off there, getting ready to come up on top. You're going to see the black car right there. There goes McMiniman right there over the top of the hill and down. So it was putting 2 wheels off, coming down the roller coaster now. So as he goes back and he'll cross the start-finish line, that'll put him on the same lap as Ed Dunn, which would be lap 26. Then as he goes out, when Dunn goes out back, he's going to cross the finish line, so that'll be lap 27. That could be where we have our battle. There goes McMiniman right now, crossing the start-finish line, so he is on his lap 26 right now, and then we will see how long before Ed Dunn comes back out. The fuel is done. They're putting Ed back in the car right now, so we will see.
All right, and it looks like the number 20 machine, our camera car, has just now, that Bella Stanka Jr. has just now left the pit lane, headed out on track. There we go. There's Bela now making his way around the horseshoe as he is going to have to work pretty hard to get those rear tires back up to temperature. Bela returns to the track, still in the lead of GTC 7 with Troy Peterson still yet to complete lap number 28. Stanko currently working lap number 29. Ariel German also a lap down. And there's Peterson. Nope, Peterson has not completed that lap yet.
You know, guys, I'm sitting here looking out the window. We were talking about the Ed Dunn and the McMiniman battle. I tell you what, Ed Dunn is having a little bit of a problem getting back in this car. Getting the belts tight back in there. Looks like they had to reach in there and grab something or kind of reach down in and grab the belt so that he can get them hooked up here. But now, you know, again, on the clock, you've got 5 minutes. They got the fuel done first. But getting back in, that's the hardest part, right? Getting out of that car quickly so that they can start getting the fuel, that's okay. It's when you get out, you take that big, deep breath, you sit there on the wall, and now you go, and there goes Ed Dunn. So let's pick up, let's try to find out where McMiniman is in relationship to Dunn. Dunn should be coming into your picture here, coming down off pit road. There goes Ed Dunn now. And we'll find out where McMiniman is when he comes out. So the 527 is going to be right behind Dunn. There goes Price Ford. I believe here comes McMiniman now down the front stretch getting ready. There goes Peterson. There he is. There goes McMiniman right there. So with that speed and with the
lead that he had coming into the pit stop.
Yeah.
There.
So there's done right there. McMiniman's just now going through the horseshoe into turn 1, coming out of turn 2. So that will be that much of a gap. That's going to be the gap.
Yeah, so we're seeing about a little bit less than 30 seconds now separating those two cars. Mitch Bowling still shown as being a lap down. Should be going on to that lead lap next time he comes by, with Peter Habestad fourth, also working lap number 27 at the moment.
Yeah, I'll be surprised if Colin Mazzola doesn't come in soon. I've just been eyeing the lap times there. He's been running about 2 seconds, almost a lap slower the last 3 laps than Joseph Viola, who came in for his pit stop a little bit earlier. But Mazzola and Ford both still out in front in GTC 8. Neither of them have pitted yet.
All right, we are seeing another couple more cars come onto the pit lane now and taking on fuel. We'll see if we can get some car numbers for you here in a moment.
You know, with having 10 different 10 different classes in here, these classes after the pit stop, it usually takes, about another 5 to 7 to 10 minutes till they start to work things back out.
Right.
Till you really see what the gap is going to be down at the end. So,
all right, I think one of the cars on the pit lane may be our GTD3 leader, Chris Dooley. And we see 2 cars up taking fuel right now. We're also looking to see Scott Baer, possibly in the GTD2 Cayman, maybe there as well. I think David Dunnigan may have just come down the pit lane, the number 400 machine, who had his troubles early on. Scott Diger as well in the 239.
well, I think Scott Baer is out of the race.
Out of the race, right.
He's only finished 7 laps.
7 laps, correct.
Yeah.
That's right.
But I think you're right. I think on pit road right now, I think we have Colin Mazzola and Chris Dooley there. Those are the last 2 cars that I see.
Right.
That have it, and we may have the Burke machine maybe as well on pit road. I know Scott Baer is out, Scott Diger, and that was a pretty busy hand.
Yeah, as we
come back through there.
Yeah, indeed. As we jump back over to the number 20 machine, Bayless Stanka Jr. is, and that's a very difficult spot on the track. Very quick transitions as you come out of left hook, go then into turn 5, and talk about quick transitions coming up through the S's here, where. Well, he's at the top of 5th gear right now as he comes into South Bend. He's probably cracking a good 120 or something up the hill there as he then sets up for turn 11 and setting up for the Oak Tree Bend here as he has to drop the car down probably to around 50, 60 miles an hour to make that corner and come back here onto the back straight.
That car is very unstable on entry.
Yes.
And I think when he gets out of that car, that's the first thing he's going to say. And if they're watching that stream right there to watch those hands, they'll know what we're talking about.
Well, and especially there as we watch that car come down the hill, yes, you've got the big wing on the rear, but when you're slowing down to a corner that's, say, again, 50, 60 miles per hour, there isn't a ton of downforce on the rear of that car.
Yeah.
And if you're not smooth, and we know that Bela, again, new racer, he's got a lot of time behind the wheel, but if you're not smooth in that transition from the brake back to the gas, that can certainly shift the weight forward, away from that engine, away from that rear axle, and when you then try to get back on the throttle, the rear end is going to step out on you a little bit, and we see all of those, his hands getting crossed up as he's having to correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brian, I think Colin Mazzola heeded my advice, because I see now that Joseph Viola's unlapped himself by 1 the last time he came by. So Colin Mazzola in the 251 definitely on pit road. Right. As we see, there's Joseph G. Viola in the yellow and blue coming across the start-finish line right now. He's now on the same lap as Colin Mazzola, so he'll be trying to retake the lead of this GTC 8 battle on this lap. We'll see what lap time he's able to put in, but Colin Mazzola sitting stationary on pit road, probably maybe 2 minutes left, maybe a little bit less, hopefully for him. We'll see what time he comes out and how close that gap is with the 262.
All right, we've also got Joseph Petkes now running third in GTD3 behind the Calzaretta Trinca car, as well as Chris Dooley. He just pulled in.
Chris Dooley just pulled off pit road, so yeah,
right.
he was done. So you got Price Ford down there on pit road as well, in the purple number 12.
Right. Yeah. So again, and we've got looks like crew members got the door open, talking to Joseph Petkes. Don't see any fueling going on right now with that Porsche Cayman.
So pretty much 65 minutes, right? An hour and hour and 5 minutes there on that same tank of fuel. So these guys, taking it right down to the end. So they know the miles per gallon they're getting, and they know how long it takes and what it takes to do it. So an hour and 5 minutes, if you think about it, because they were just under the, kind of just under the 30-minute mark when they came in. So
And by the way, just wanted to thank all of you online for sticking with us here. Definitely some issues not on our, you'll have to believe me when I say it was not on our end, as we actually looked at multiple ways of pushing. We were pushing data to YouTube the entire time, looked at multiple ways and multiple methods of pushing it, and we're getting the same response from YouTube servers. So I'm glad that they have got their issues now resolved here. As what we're going to do, looks like we're going to take one final break here, as we now have just a little bit over 20 minutes remaining. We've got, actually about 12 minutes before the pits close. And we're going to take that break, and then we'll take you all the way to the checkered flag here in this orange endurance race presented by Lockton Motorsports here at the 2025 Rumble at the Old Oak Tree, presented by Porsche Club of America. We'll be right back.
Partners of Club Racing for over 30 years, Eurosport Porsche Road and Race is a Porsche specialty shop with 2 locations in Illinois, operating since 1984. Whether you have an early air-cooled car from the 60s or Porsche's newest Cup car, we can provide all your service and parts needs. We are the one-stop shop for all of your Porsche repairs and race builds, with a large inventory of Porsche parts and race gear.
Apex Racing Performance, premier racing outfitters, provides racing equipment and product support to motorsports enthusiasts. A member of PCA since 1991, Clark Hammerly and his wife Linda both hold competitive racing licenses and install, use, and test the equipment they sell. This enables them to provide unbiased technical assistance on installation and use of their products. From helmets and race apparel to personal cooling and fire systems, Apex Performance also stocks performance friction brake pads for all Porsche applications. They invite you to visit their showroom in Merle's Inlet, South Carolina. Shop online at www.apexperformance.net, call toll-free, or view their track schedule online. Mention PCA Club Racing to receive a discount on your next purchase.
Demon Speed Motorsports offers a full line of products for your race or track car. With their background in Porsche GT3 Cup cars, they bring the same quality and durability to the street and track replacement parts that they produce. These products include suspension links, motorsport-style center lock parts and kits, brake rotors, and wing uprights. Now, Good Arrow Wings and RacingTireWarmers.com are part of the Demon Speed family. With this, they now offer Good Arrow Wings with mounting solutions for most Porsche models. Racing Tire Warmers offer tire warmers to custom fit your race car to make you faster and safer on track. To learn more about Demon Speed Motorsports and see their great products, visit them at www.demonspeedmotorsports.com.
Trailix Trailer sets the standard for super lightweight, superior craftsmanship, and extraordinary quality. If you need a trailer, whether it be enclosed or open, to tow your Porsche, Trailix should be your first and only choice. Trailix has many sizes to fit your Porsche perfectly, and their unique touches ensure that your trailer will be as functional as it is beautiful. Trailix Trailers sponsors the Novice Racer Award, a gift certificate given to the second-time racer who exemplifies the club racing spirit.
HPDE season is here, and First Settlers Region is excited to see you all on track April 25th through 27th. We're fortunate enough to have Virginia International Raceway as our home track, the track Paul Newman called Heaven on Earth. The FSR Spring HPDE at VIR will have an exciting new opportunity. If you are an advanced driver and are interested in becoming an instructor, we will be having a PCA National Instructor Training that will coincide with the HPDE. If you are interested in becoming an HPDE instructor, our CTI will be reviewing registrations. If you are curious about HPDE but are uncertain about committing to an entire weekend, you can come to VIR on Saturday for Intro to DE, a classroom session and a single instructed session on track. Don't forget our Saturday happy hour, a great opportunity to socialize and tell tales about your lap times. Run groups are filling fast. Don't wait until it's too late. Register now to secure your spot on motorsportsreg.com.
Upper Canada region is proud to host the 28th annual Can-Am Challenge Club Race at historic Mosport Raceway in Bowmanville, Ontario, Canada, Thursday, June 26th through 29th. Described by Juan Pablo Montoya as one of the most challenging tracks in the world with its elevation changes and blind corners, it's the fastest track IMSA races on. Another racer described the speed and elevation changes like landing on an aircraft carrier, the perfect high-speed track for any car. Get in gear and set a reminder in clubregistration.net. Registration opens May 12th. Our team is here to answer any of your questions, from border crossing to the best accommodations, to help you plan your trip to our amazing track. Reach out to club-race@pcaucr.org.
Potomac Region's premier event, Porsche Fest, is the weekend of July 25th. Come join our annual family reunion at Summit Point Motorsports Park, where members and enthusiasts across all of our programs, such as driver education, autocross, drive and dine, concourse, and rally, come together for a fun weekend at the track. From the barbecue dinner on Saturday night, taste of autocross, charity laps, to concourse, best of show, and all things Porsche Motorsports, it's always a great time at the track. So let's celebrate all things Porsche at Potomac's Porsche Fest.
Welcome back to Virginia International Raceway. It is, and it still is, the 2025 Rumble at the Old Oak Tree, presented by the Porsche Club of America. This is our final race of the weekend. It is our Orange Endurance race presented by Lockton Motorsports. I'm Greg Ginsburg. He's Brian Donati, and he's James Pardue. And we've got now just a touch under 20 minutes remaining. There it is on the clock, just about 18 minutes left on the clock here as we reset the field. Your overall leader and leader in GTA 4, that is Joel Johnson. He's our sole racer in that class, running second overall at the moment. Bela Stanko, he leads the GTC 7 class. He's got Troy Peterson running in second, Ariel German in third. In GTC 8, it's Joseph Viola with the pairing of Stafford and Freeman running second. Colin Masola third, as we were just running some stats on how we think that's going to finish up. We might talk about that in a little bit. Price Ford is fourth. In GTD 3, the pairing of Calzaretta and Trinka they are your leaders, with Chris Dooley second, Rami Farid third, and the team of Ramirez and Burke fourth. In GTD 2, the team of G.N. Byrne leads over David Harrington and Scott Baer. And in GTB 1, Ed Dunn leads over Mike McMenamin and Mitch Bowling, with Peter Habestead in fourth.
I'll tell you what, that's GTC 8, and you're right, Greg. We were just clicking through and looking at some
irresponsible math.
Some math going in here. And, Freeman driving that 999 has cut 5 seconds down in the last 2 laps. Right? We could run a little ESPN bets up here. We could run a driver's eye live bets program right here now. We could. Yeah.
I just don't want to know the tax ramifications of us doing that. All right, coming down the pit lane, getting ready to rejoin the action. It is the number 22 car, and that is Michael Vitz. Michael is our sole racer today in GTC 3.
Tell you what, our individuals at the black flag station, they're waiting for a stop and go penalty again. That's for the 751. There. So again, that's Chris Dooley trying to get him in to stop. They're actually going to lean in the car. His radio may not be working in there. Looks like the crew's going to lean in there, but he is definitely going to cost him some time on pit road here.
And there's our battle for the lead heading into turn 1, GTC 8. Corey Friedman's right up on the back of Joseph Viola as they head in. The gap now less than half a second. Coming out of turn number 2. They stayed single file going in. We'll wait for them to come through NASCAR, Brian.
I'll tell you what, let's keep an eye on this Chris Dooley machine, right? So not only did they have a stop and go, but I think they had a minute where they had to be held. He was sitting in third in GTD 3. We'll have to find out where the 51 is. of Ramirez and Burke. I believe that's Tommy Burke in the machine driving that in fourth. There was a pretty big gap going in. That may not be. So Chris Dooley may end up falling back based off that stop time, is to go back in behind there. I know that Dooley has a lap over Ramirez and Burke, but we'll see whether or not they were able to get out in front.
All right, well, let's stay with this action, though, as they're coming out of South Bend right now. Again, not all 4 races in class, but again, very, very tight.
So
running.
one of them is, Greg, one of them is the 262 Joseph Viola, the 999
right.
of Freeman.
Right, with Stafford and Freeman right behind, which is what James was saying a moment ago.
They're in the sandwich right now. It looks like that. They're in between those 2 out-of-class traffic cars. But, yeah, Corey Freeman was almost pushing Viola up the hill as they're now out of that out-of-class traffic heading into the braking zone. Viola's still out in front as they crest the top of the hill. But Freeman's been getting really good runs all out of Hogpen. We'll see. I imagine we'll see a dive into turn number 1 if he doesn't do it even a little bit beforehand. But Joseph Viola going to try and do everything he can to keep Freeman as they come out of Hogpen. They'll be coming down the straightaway here past our box here, then across the start-finish line. And looks like Freeman's got a great run going into turn 1. We'll see now where he chooses to go. Looks like you can see there early, Viola covering off the inside, and then that out-of-class traffic car actually on the outside too, so there was just nowhere for Freedman to go, having to stay single file into turn 1.
Yeah, that out-of-class traffic car saw them coming with a pretty big head of steam, got completely over to driver's left to let them go, but now it looks like Freeman's going to try to make that move. Wasn't able to make that stick, going to back out of it. They're actually going to come up on the 98 of Ed Dunn right now.
I think we ought to watch and wait to see what Joe Viola does here, whether or not he decides to take his car off track a little bit, Brian, because although he has been racing automobiles for 20 years, his other hobby happens to be motocross racing. He lists his biggest accomplishment as still being alive after being the District 34 motocross champ. So going up through the S's, it might not concern him all that much to go side by side. He'll just go bounding through the grass.
Well, he can take that fast line we saw earlier.
Exactly.
Cut through the grass right there. Not sure that I would highly advise.
Race control would never know
that you would do that, but would never know. Here they come out of Oak Tree, down the backstretch, down past Madison Avenue, getting ready to the top of the hill of the roller coaster. And I tell you, it's still about a half a car length lead with Joseph Viola over Freeman in that 999 machine. So again, Viola now really starting to push it. Maybe he saved some of it knowing that was going to happen. Now it's time to push those tires.
And actually, Viola's day job, he runs corporate motorsports. They're based out of Brookfield, Connecticut, and they do they build race cars and haul them around for drivers as well. So he's got his life firmly ensconced in all forms of motorsports here. As we watch him go down into turn 1, has to get a little bit to the inside, cheat a little bit over driver, like not cheat, but move the car a little bit driver's right. To essentially show the Stafford Friedman car that perhaps trying to make a move there deeper into turn 1 would be unadvisable.
Yeah, Viola's doing a great job with the defensive driving, especially heading into the hard braking zone as we see Friedman taking another peek out the inside, but Viola covering it off, going to try the switchback as they start their way up towards the bridge. We'll see if Friedman is able to pull it off. He just had a nose inside. But, yeah, as I was saying, down into the braking zone as we look up the climbing S's, it's still going to be Viola out in front. But, yeah, into the braking zone before they get to the top of the hill there. Freeman's getting such a good run off of Oak Tree down the back straightaway. But Viola just positioning his car right in the middle of the track. There's nowhere for Freedman to go when they get into that heavy braking zone. We'll see if he can get an even better run this time, making their way out of Oak Tree Corner now down the back straightaway.
Well, what I'd like to do, I'd like to watch them as they go into left hook the next time, because what I've seen on the prior 2 laps is we've got Viola. He sets the car center of track coming out of the NASCAR bend, going into turn 4 into left hook, and the Stafford Friedman car moves all the way over, literally onto the white line, the very edge of the track, driver's left for that 90-degree left hook, and it absolutely kills his exit speed. So he maybe can get up to the quarter panel of the Viola car, but the next turn is a right-hander, and he's never going to be in the position to make the pass there, but he keeps trying.
Yeah. Getting word now that the pits are now officially closed, so the only time you would come down is if you have a problem with your racing machine, to finish.
Or the officials have a problem with you and your
or you
racing
have a
machine.
or you're being instructed to come down pit
Exactly.
road. But the pits are now officially closed. Nobody can come in and do those 5 minutes. So we'll see, but that is the closest battle on the racetrack for class, and that is the GTC 8 battle. Other than that, everybody's within laps or even a great deal of seconds ahead of their nearest competitor. So this is the race to watch here in GTC 8. Again, what that's allowing to do is the last time by Colin Mazzola, he was about 11 seconds back. Well, now that you have the Viola and the Freeman machine battling, he's now into 9.6. So, again, closing up some of the time, but not closing up the time enough in order to make it a 3-car battle.
Yeah, with 9 minutes left, it's going to be a tall order for Mazzola to try and catch up. But, I mean, these guys have been battling hard. And I think we did finally see Corey Friedman in the 999 get ahead of Viola. I was going to say, Greg, he was a lot more to the inside going into left hook. I think he heard what you were saying about going way wide into the corner. But, that run up the hill, I think he might have got him at the base of the S's. And you see already the lead that he's got because Friedman getting such a good run out of Oak Tree. We'll see what the gap is. But, Joseph Viola now down to second.
Four and a half car lengths.
Yeah, something like that. As we'll see what the gap actually is as they come down the hill. But, I think Friedman might have got him as they went into the S's under the bridge.
Yeah. Definitely did. You can see that now coming out of Hog Pen, getting ready to come down here on the front stretch. You see it on this camera. There goes Freeman. There goes Viola. So now that race battle there is kind of starting to dissipate as well as he's starting to pull up to about 1.4 seconds. So.
Yeah, here as they're trying to make their way through a little bit slower traffic coming down into turn at number 1.
Maybe our irresponsible math is correct.
It is, apparently it is.
It shows him finishing first, and it shows Viola finishing second, and then Colin.
I need to run this software on a on an IndyCar race weekend or something.
Should have did that for the basketball this
I could have
year.
used. I was going to say I could have used that for my bracket.
Could have used that for your brackets. Mine's all messed up already.
Mine made it about 4 games. See, already 1.4 seconds, the gap that Friedman extended over the 262. So, that battle quieting down a little bit as we go almost into the last 5 minutes. But it very impressive that through a 90-minute race, so we got that close to the end, and such a great battle for the lead in GTC 8.
And speaking of irresponsible math, I hear that perhaps the team with the most irresponsible math might be Ferrari this weekend. they can't figure out weights of their cars. Anyway, as we go and we check here, and as we've been watching that battle in GTC 8, and I don't want to say it's fully dissolved. Still, within a second and a half, there's time and speed. As we've got somebody who's just gone around up at the top of the roller coaster coming through turn 14.
That may be it's either the 51 or the 140. It's one of those two. It's definitely not the 140, so it's definitely the 51.
So the 51, and there's the call coming in that appears to be the Ramirez-Burke machine. Yeah, and there it is, the orange and black one as opposed to the pink and black one. Ramirez and Burke, the number 51 GTD3 machine. They were running, I think they were running 4th. They did not lose a position in class as they had about a minute on Joseph Petke's, who's running 5th in class. And just as I was about to set the field here, in GTD3, it looks like the Calzaretta Trinca pair have quite a bit on Rami Farid, who's running 2nd in class, Chris Dooley 3rd, and we've got Calzaretta Trinca on lap 42, Rami Farid on lap 41, Chris Dooley on lap 40, with Ramirez and Burke also on lap number 40.
Yep.
In GDT2, the G and Byrne pairing working lap 40 with David Harrington running lap 39 currently. And as we mentioned, the 910 of Scott Bair retired after only 7 complete laps. In GTB1 and our overall, actually not our overall leader, let me before I say that, well, I'm not going to say that. In GTB1, Ed Dunn in the number 98 Cayman, your leader. And he's got about a little bit less than 40 seconds right now on Mike McMenamin. They're both on the same lap. Mitch Bowling showing a lap down in third, and Peter Habestead 2 laps down.
And I think that 33 to 40 seconds, I think that was due to the pit strategy, right? I mean, that was more of, Ed Dunn coming in 1 lap before, which caused a little bit of a problem as you see the Freeman coming up on, I believe that's the 277 right there.
Of Troy Peterson.
Yeah, Troy Peterson kind of holding him up.
Actually, Freeman's coming up on a little bit of class traffic. We're in around Peterson there, but got some more out-of-class cars up ahead. Not too much time, but I mean, it depends on where he catches them on the track. That could hold him up a little bit, maybe let Viola get a sniff at that first place at GTC 8, but we'll see. It all depends on where he catches them on the track, and the gap's still 4.4 seconds between himself and...
we're getting down to the end of that 3 minutes. Those guys, they know, hey, look, I'm not going to hold that guy up. They're gonna move out of the way. But you're right. You never can tell, but that battle's gone from 1.4 seconds to 4.4, 4.5 seconds now. So that is a matter of where do you get him, but he just has that much more speed to get by, the Ogden machine right there. So.
All right, and we are getting word now from race control that the next time our overall leader, who is currently Joel Johnson, in his GTA 4 Porsche 992 GT3 car. Next time he crosses the start-finish line, he'll get that 1 to go warning, and 3.27 miles, 17 more turns await for Joel Johnson, and as he tries to take the overall win here in our orange group endurance race presented by Lockton Motorsports.
Yeah, got about just under a minute lead over Baylor Stanko, and then the Freeman machine, as it looks like that's just now coming down the hill, getting ready to pass the start-finish line. So see where Joel Johnson is. Should be getting ready to come down the hill himself.
Brian, I just want to mention real quick in GTB1, Ed Dunn, I think, had that little off-track excursion earlier in the race, but he's been putting in very consistent lap times in the low 204s. And I don't know. I'm wondering if Mike McMenamin, his tires might be suffering a bit because he's almost 10 seconds off his personal best at this point in the race. So.
Yeah, again, we saw that. I mean, we had talked about it early on. I anticipated to see tires get put on some of these cars. And it just didn't happen, right? Nobody put tires on that we were able to see. So,
well, I mean, maybe if it did extended beyond like 64, 65 ambient air temperature here, we might have seen it if it warmed up. But I guess they feel that.
Well, I think
based on the number of laps,
I think that at some point during the race, if we had a double yellow, I think that you may have seen where. Knowing that the pits are closed under a double yellow, but if there was in anticipation of that, maybe the teams will call them in early.
All right, so our leader Joel Johnson in the GTA 4 red and white 911, the 992 GT2 Cup car. There he is going up through the S's, working his final lap, and he's out of Hartford, Connecticut, and we ask our drivers how they got into road racing, and. He said it was the start of his third midlife crisis. So I guess that puts him at...
I got 2 more to go.
Yeah, exactly. That puts him at what, 90 years old now?
I got 2 more to go. That's probably not going to be good either.
No, certainly not. So Joel, as they crossed the stripe, he had the had first position by almost a full minute over Bela Stanko Jr. Bela in leading the GTC 7 class, running second overall. The 999 machine is Stafford and Freeman, another half minute back from there. They lead the GTC 8 classes. They've now extended that lead over Joseph Viola to almost 6.5 seconds. As our leader comes onto the front straight, flashing the headlights, and Joel Johnson is our winner here today. He's going to be the second car in line. There he is in the red and black machine, or red and white machine, pardon me. Joel Johnson is your winner here today in our Orange Endurance Race presented by Lockton Motorsports. As the rest of our drivers start to come through, Bela Stanko onto the front straight. There is the car coming across the line now. The number of our slower cars coming across. We'll see him come across the line momentarily, as we've got cars that are a couple laps down completing their races. There's the number 98 machine, the number 251 machine as well. So Stanko, who is I think the old one of the actually we've got a number of cars that were on the lead lap. We should see him coming into view.
Like right here, right here.
Coming down the roller. Onto the front straight. There he is, flashing the lights. The white with pink number 20 machine. He crosses the line, and he will finish second overall. And we've got another almost a minute or so, I think, back to Stafford and Freeman there. And so it should be Johnson, your overall winner. He'll take the win in GTA 4. Bela Stanko will take the win in GTC 7, finishing second overall. The team of Stafford and Freeman will win GTC 8 in the number 999 blue and orange Cup car, with Joseph Viola finishing second in GTC 8, fourth overall. And there we go, Stafford and Freeman just now crossing the line and coming across now. Oh, wow, actually, let's take a look and see, because the Calzaretta Trinca machine just crossed the line. They beat Joseph Viola to the line. And so Calzaretta and Trinca, who will win GTD 3, they will finish fourth overall. Joe Viola, who will finish second in GTC 8, he will finish fifth. And talk about being close at the line. Colin Mazzola in the 251 car pulled right up to the back of Joseph Viola at the very end, only 0.4 of a second back. We've got some racers coming across a little bit off the pace here.
Joel Johnson wanted to do another lap.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Didn't realize he took the checkered flag. So.
All right. So tell you what, so Mazzola finished sixth overall. Then Price Ford should be our next racer across the line in the number 12 machine. He will finish, looks to be fourth in GTC 8. Rami Farid in his GTD 3 machine will finish eighth overall. Troy Peterson ninth in GTC 7 Cup car, and then Ariel German 10th. Also in a GTC 7 car. If we break things down here, we'll run them down by class here. We'll start with GTB 1, where Ed Dunn takes the win over Mike McMenamin, margin of victory 52 seconds. Mitch Bowling will finish in third. Peter Habestad will finish a lap down in fourth. In GTD 2, the team of GN Byrne take the win with David Harrington finishing second, about a minute and a half back, with Scott Baer only completing 7 laps. In GTD 3, it's, as we mentioned, Calzaretta and Trinca over Rami Farid, who finishes a lap down. Chris Dooley will finish third, and the team of Ramirez and Burke will finish fourth, with Joseph Petkes finishing in fifth. Our sole racer in GTC 6 is David Dunnigan, and David Dunnigan will finish 23rd overall in the number 400 car. In GTC 8, the team of Stafford and Friedman in the number 999, 992 Cup car will take the win over Joe Viola, Colin Mazzola, second and third, with Price Ford finishing in fourth position. In GTC 7, Bela Stanko, who finished second overall, takes the win. Troy Peterson second, Ariel German finishing in third. In GTA 4, Joel Johnson, our sole racer in the class, as we mentioned, he's your overall winner. Congratulations to him. And then Michael Vitz, our sole racer in GTC 3, only completes 36 laps, unfortunately, there. So that's going to wrap up all of our on-track racing action. Brian and James, any last thoughts before we do the full wrap here?
No, another fantastic weekend. Great for us to come down here and do this, our second event so far on the schedule this year. Looking forward to more. We've got, as we said in April, we've got Road Atlanta coming up here, so we'll roll through in with that one.
Yeah, just wanted thanks for having me on. It was an absolute blast this weekend, and we got a boatload of action, and I'm just glad that we got to come out here and have a little bit of fun.
All right, so as Brian mentioned, our next event here for Porsche Club of America is going to be at beautiful Michelin Raceway Road, Atlanta. Going to be the weekend of April 11th, 12th, and 13th. So certainly join us here on YouTube, and more importantly, if you're a PCA racer, PCA Club racer, join us at the track. It's a beautiful, beautiful facility, and you'll love the racing there if you haven't done so already. We want to thank special guest today, Aaron Ambrosino, president of the Porsche Club of America, for joining us, and had a wonderful talk with him. If you missed it, go ahead and scrub back through this YouTube feed. It's only about 15 minutes into the stream. Great talk with him about the Porsche Club of America, the 70th anniversary of the club, and all of the great programs that PCA offers to Porsche owners. I want to thank, of course, Brian Donati, James Pardue, my two announcing partners here in crime, and I would be remiss if I did not thank our producer, Ryan West, and our rock star director, Spencer Gaynor, who brought you all the pictures, all the action, all the sound here from Virginia International Raceway this weekend. So for the whole team here at Driver's Eye Live, I'm Greg Ginsburg, and we'll see you in just a few weeks from Michelin Raceway Road, Atlanta. Pirelli and Porsche have been a winning combination around the racing world for years. Pirelli is proud to bring that relationship to PCA Club Racing yet again in 2025. Make sure to see the guys from Frisbee and find the right Pirelli tire for your vehicle, or check them out on the web at frisbeeracetire.com. Pirelli powers nothing without control. When you pack up from the raceway and head home on the highway, remember that the engineering excellence Michelin strives for in racing is applicable to our passenger and light truck tires too. Michelin is proud to continue its national sponsorship of Porsche Club of America and Club Racing. Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires.
Looking to decrease lap times on the track without an engine overhaul? GT Racing has a wide range of fiberglass and carbon fiber body panels, along with European Racing headers, exhaust systems to lighten your car and accelerate all the potential horsepower of your engine. Time for a change? Convert your 944 into a turbo or a 924 GT, or your 911 to a 911 RS, RSR, or 935. Talk with Joel at GT Racing. He'll help you choose the winning combination of lightweight Porsche parts and header systems to set you on the right track. GT Racing is your one-stop shop for your Porsche needs. GT Racing is a national sponsor and proudly sponsors tech inspections at PCA Club races. GT Racing also sponsors the Best Repaired Car Award, a $100 gift certificate at each race. Call Joel at GT Racing today at 1-800-797-2911 or find us on the web at www.gt-racing.com.
Our first club racing sponsor, Porsche Cars North America, funds the club racing news and sponsors the Workers' Choice Award, considered the most prestigious award given at a club race. Thank you to PCNA for offering vital support to our club racing program.
At Hankook Tire, we strive to create a universal moment when the car and driver become one. Our aim is to develop a safer, more pleasant, and more comfortable driving experience from the moment the driver turns on the engine. Through strong braking power, smooth handling, driving comfort, and guaranteed safety, Hankook products deliver an authentic driving experience beyond mobility. Our tires provide total control of speed and direction while ensuring safety and comfort on the road. Embrace driving emotion and embrace the feel and excitement of being behind the wheel with Hankook Tire. Hankook competition tires are the perfect match of performance and longevity. Visit hankookmotorsports.com to buy today.
OG Racing has been a national sponsor of PCA Club Racing since 1998. Headquartered in Sterling, Virginia, and staffed by PCA members and club racers, OG Racing has always carried the industry's best in racing safety equipment and performance parts. The best products from manufacturers like Sparco, OMP, Alpine Stars, helmets from Bell, Stilo, Rue, brake pads from Performance Friction, Paget and Hawk, just to name a few, and are always in stock and ready to ship from their 12,000 square foot warehouse. Give OG Racing a call or visit them at www.ogracing.com and sign up for their newsletter.
We're not just a one-off experience, we're a call to freedom. We're a place in people's minds where everyone can unleash their wild side with a passport to a world of possibilities. A spirit that breaks all the rules, uniting the famously bold and spirited essence of tequila from Mexico with the much-loved richness of peanut butter. Manibal is the bold embodiment of the party animal within us all. Here is where the ethics starts. Tequila can be purchased nationwide at manibaltequila.com.
Club Reg is a supporter of PCA Club Racing and the provider of all registration for each of our races. ClubRegistration.net is a unique service because we put all of our customers first. You can use our services for free or with a small credit card handling fee. How can you go wrong? Included with both are custom solutions tailored to meet your needs. Find out more information at ClubRegistration.net.
OG Racing has been a national sponsor of PCA Club Racing since 1998. Headquartered in Sterling, Virginia, and staffed by PCA members and club racers, OG Racing has always carried the industry's best in racing safety equipment and performance parts. The best products from manufacturers like Sparco, OMP, Alpine Stars, helmets from Bell, Stilo, Rue, brake pads from Performance Friction, Paget and Hawk, just to name a few, and are always in stock and ready to ship from their 12,000 square foot warehouse. Give OG Racing a call or visit them at www.ogracing.com and sign up for their newsletter.
About to hit the track without coverage for your car? Buy HPDE insurance in minutes at LockedInMotorsports.com. Whether you drive a 911 or a Boxster, protect your car against physical damage during HPDE and track day events with HPD insurance from Locked In Motorsports, administered by Locked In Affinity. Coverage includes modifications you've done to your car, 2 drivers at each event, demonstration laps your instructor drives, and more. Worried about the trip home? Locked In Motorsports also offers off-track insurance for your non-licensed race car or track car while in transit, in storage, and in the paddock, plus options for your trailer, equipment, and tools. Insure your Porsche today at LockedInMotorsports.com.
Miller's Oils is proud to be a Porsche Club Racing sponsor and to work with Racer's Edge as their North American distributor. Miller's Oils has been blending oil since 1887 and has an extensive product line for virtually every street or racetrack application. The technology implemented in Miller's engine oil and gear oils protects the wear surfaces of your engine and gear train on a microscopic level, significantly reducing friction and increasing the life of your engine and gear train. We encourage you to try Miller's and judge for yourself with the help of an oil sample analysis. As they say, the proof is in the pudding.
Pirelli and Porsche have been a winning combination around the racing world for years. Pirelli is proud to bring that relationship to PCA Club Racing yet again in 2025. Make sure to see the guys from Frisbee and find the right Pirelli tire for your vehicle, or check them out on the web at frisbeeracetire.com. Pirelli powers nothing without control.
Based in New Jersey, Precision Motorsports, or PMR, is a supporter of club racing and a new national sponsor for 2025. From the latest Cup cars to 944 racers, PMR has supported them all here at the track. True experts in their craft and dedicated to performance. Find them on Facebook at Precision Motorsports.
New for 2025, Isringhausen will be sponsoring the GTD 1, 2, and 3 classes. Our group here at Club Racing are thrilled to have them on board. Over the past 30 years, Isringhausen has become synonymous with quality vehicles and superb service. The Isringhausen way of doing business has been one of offering excellent products at fair prices, coupled with service that goes above and beyond what anyone would expect from a typical car dealership. We believe that good service is comprised of 2 components: a willing and helpful attitude, accompanied by competency in your field. We try to support an environment where each person who works here strives to serve each customer as they wish to be served, with dignity and respect. Because of these core values, Isringhausen has become and will continue to be a leading example in the industry.
One of our latest partners, Track Day Tire, is happy to be supporting Club Racing through their Toyo, Hoosier, and Michelin tires. Use the code PCACR for a discount at checkout. The TrackDayTire.com team is passionate about helping our customers extract the highest level of performance from their vehicles on the track. Decades of on-track experience has taught us purpose-designed track-use tires are arguably the single most important vehicle component that influences driver confidence to obtain maximum vehicle performance. Make Making it easier for our fellow track day enthusiasts to obtain confidence-inspiring tires is our goal. We look forward to providing you access to the best prices and customer support in the industry.
A household name in U.S. road racing for nearly 25 years, Toyo Tires has forged a reputation for winning, performance, and consistency. From the company's legendary Proxys RA1 to the two-groove Proxys RR, they have a history of getting drivers to the winner's circle. Their quality and performance extends beyond the track, offering owners a full line of premium tires for coupes to Cayennes. They are proud to build many of the tires right here in the United States at their state-of-the-art factory in Bartow County, Georgia. We thank them for their support of Porsche Club of America through club racing and the high-performance driver education program. Be sure to check out their contingency program if you race SP1 or Spec Boxster. To learn more about the full line of Toyo tires, visit www.toyotires.com.
Stable Energies takes pride in offering racers the very best in motorsport performance and safety equipment since 1978. Owner Bob Kikasik has been a PCA member for over 35 years and started club racing with PCA during its very first season. Located in northern New Jersey, Stable Energy stocks a wide variety of racing gear and motorsport products from top quality brands like O&P, Alpine Stars, Bell, Hans, Schroth, Paget, and Bray Kraus. Stable Energies is a master distributor for Recaro and the U.S. importer for safety devices roll cages, as well as the Eastern U.S. distributor for RSS Porsche performance parts. You can shop with Stable Energies on their website, stableenergies.com. You can call and speak to a knowledgeable salesperson. They're happy to answer any of your questions. Or you can have one-on-one personal attention at their retail location just 10 minutes from New York City. PCA members receive special deals, so be sure to mention PCA Club Racing. Whether your fire system needs to be serviced, you need advice about a new race seater radio system, or you'll want to try on the coolest looking new driver suits, Stable Energies has yet covered.
Motion Control Suspension, or MCS, has proven to be the evolution of premium motorsports damper systems. Their team is continuously developing and refining damper technology that is vastly different from other manufacturers, developed through hands-on involvement in GT and touring car racing. While their roots are in the highest levels of professional sports car racing, their products excel in all environments, from enthusiastic street driving to autocross track days to club racing and far beyond. MCS is much more than just a great product. They have many years of practical racing experience both on and off the track, extensive knowledge of vehicle dynamics, and an understanding of driver expectations and needs. MCS is proud to be a sponsor of Porsche Club Racing and invites you to lean on their expertise for setup support and consultation.
Partners of club racing for over 30 years, Eurosport Porsche Road and Race is a Porsche specialty shop with 2 locations in Illinois operating since 1984. Whether you have an early air-cooled car from the 60s or Porsche's newest cup car, we can provide all your service and parts needs. We are the one-stop shop for all of your Porsche repairs and race builds with a large inventory of Porsche parts and race gear.
Apex Racing Performance, Premier Racing Outfitters, provides racing equipment and product support to motorsports enthusiasts. A member of PCA since 1991, Clark Hammerly and his wife Linda both hold competitive racing licenses and install, use, and test the equipment they sell. This enables them to provide unbiased technical assistance on installation and use of their products. From helmets and race apparel to personal cooling and fire systems, Apex Performance also stocks performance friction brake pads for all Porsche applications. They invite you to visit their showroom in Merle's Inlet, South Carolina, shop online at www.apexperformance.net, call toll-free, or view their track schedule online. Mention PCA Club Racing to receive a discount on your next purchase.
Demon Speed Motorsports offers a full line of products for your race or track car. With their background in Porsche GT3 Cup cars, they bring the same quality and durability to the street and track replacement parts that they produce. These products include suspension links, motorsport style center lock parts and kits, brake rotors, and wing uprights. Now, Good Arrow Wings and RacingTireWarmers.com are part of the Demon Speed family. With this, they now offer Good Arrow Wings with mounting solutions for most Porsche models. Racing Tire Warmers offer tire warmers to custom fit your race car to make you faster and safer on track. To learn more about Demon Speed Motorsports and see their great products, visit them at www.demonspeedmotorsports.com.
Trailix Trailer sets the standard for super lightweight, superior craftsmanship, and extraordinary quality. If you need a trailer, whether it be enclosed or open, to tow your Porsche, Trailix should be your first and only choice. Trailix has many sizes to fit your Porsche perfectly, and their unique touches ensure that your trailer will be as functional as it is beautiful. Trailix Trailers sponsors the Novice Racer Award, a gift certificate given to the second-time racer who exemplifies the club racing spirit.